And I think this would be a good time to break for the
Skyrim ripoff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, look, I know it's tradition at this point, but please put your Switch down for 1 second. Excuse me, sir. I'm trying to record a podcast. Can you please turn your Switch on?
Sir, we're trying to take off. Please stop playing Mario.
What's that? My tray table is in the locked and upright position.
Big wahoo. Hello and welcome to Please Don't Listen to This, Your Life Depends on It. I am your host, Nick, and this week I am here with someone I'm going to add to the list of NSF casualties, Alex Davis.
I am Alex Noisy Keys Denton.
We have number one, that's Terror, George Birch.
It's because I'm brown.
Oh, wow. Let me give you another one.
A beard. No, I'm just kidding. That was a bad one.
I'm Cam, and the retinal scanner can read through my sunglasses.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
That's the line I can't stop thinking about.
My eyes are augmented.
And us mech Alex may have copper wiring, but Seb has nerves of steel. So we're good.
I've got nerves of steel.
No, that's the other one.
That's the other FPS protagonist from the late 90s.
Well, actually, Deus Ex is from the late 90s. It's from the early 2000s.
It's from the year 2000.
Whoa.
It's which you can really tell playing that game. So today's episode is on Deus Ex. It was Alex's episode, and I have been very excited for this one.
Oh, it was? I just drank a bunch of Dos Equis. We should have wrote this down.
Oh,
Just do it by audio.
Oh boy.
He thought that you were like shortening it so he didn't have to spell it all out.
I drank when I was like, I do see the political themes, but most of the dialogue is not coming across. Now
I just went and had dude sex. I really misunderstood this.
Do sex. I can't do, sorry.
Yeah, I tried to do sex. It didn't.
It's easier in the reboot.
All right, Alex, you want to start us off? What have you been doing this week?
I have been playing a little known game. You know, it's kind of like an indie game. I don't know if you guys have heard of it.
An indie game.
Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. It's kind of
Skyrim 1.
It's been underneath the radar a little bit. Yeah, it's a video game. Definitely not the best game ever. You know, like I was led to believe.
I don't know, man.
But
game trailers said. No.
Yeah, no,
It's game trailers do reviews.
I don't think
They don't even exist anymore.
No, they've been gone for a few years.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Game Trailers Go said something to you, George, please tell me.
Game trailers, if you're listening.
They'll sponsor this for
The
sure.
now easy allies that have millions of followers and people really enjoy when they talk about video games, unlike us, which
they rebranded?
yeah,
They
because
have a podcast too.
all the people that worked at Game Trailers before they were shut down by the parent company just formed their own company because they had a fan base online of people who liked watching their content and enjoyed what they have, unlike this show.
Must be cool.
It must be nice.
So yeah, I've been playing Zelda. It's fun to explore, but the annoyances are there. Not a fan of the dungeons. I wish we had more options item-wise.
Yeah. As I've said over and over. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
The stuff that is there is cool, and I like the systems and how they intertwine. But I don't like how they emphasize using those systems by making your weapons jelly. And yeah, I think they could have done that better.
Do you have a horse
Agreed.
yet?
I have 2 horses, and I've used them a total of 2 times, leading them to the ranch.
What are their names?
I hate the horses.
I have Buttholio, the classic.
What'd you name Link then?
I named my other one Horse.
Nice. I did the same thing.
Yeah.
Huh. We're both extremely funny.
Didn't you name one of your horses Jerry Seinfeld, or am I thinking of a different name?
I hope you did. That's great.
I don't... Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah. I was thinking in Earthbound, I named my characters Jerry, George, Elaine, and Kramer.
Yeah.
Jergy, Garage.
Actually, I think it might have been like that.
Because they have a character limit, so I think you were like, oh, I can't fit one of these names in. And then so you just changed them all to that. But, Cam and I actually played Breath of the Wild on the same file, so occasionally I'd be like, I'd like to play some Zelda, and I'd pick it up and I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
Because Cam, ended up in the ass end of the map somewhere I'd never been before. And I'm sure he ended up with the same after he played when I was playing.
Yeah.
But that
That
actually
was
made
bad
it kind of
stuff.
fun because it's like, oh, not only am I going to figure out what I want to do, I'm like, where the hell am I?
Yeah,
And
why have
then
I been under a rock for a week?
yeah. Why am I buried under several thousand tons of snow?
Do you like the story stuff? I thought the story was good.
Has there been a story so far?
Maybe
You just played through a bunch of cutscenes while you were here.
I don't.
did you do the photographs yet?
No, I haven't done any of the memories.
Yeah.
That's
stuff.
where the story really starts, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I-
gotta do the memories. They're
I-
good.
I don't know.
So I think
the
it's
game,
fun.
the
That's
game
where
is
you get
really
the story,
formulaic
yeah.
as a whole, so I feel like that kind of detracted from it.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I knew what I was going to be doing before I even got there,
Yeah.
and there's very little variety to mix that up. At least in the main story stuff.
I think a lot of it must have just came from like all the positive reviews. Probably just came from it was
It's a
such
Ze- it's a Zelda
departure.
game.
It
Yeah.
wasn't
It's
No.
well, one.
Sword.
It's definitely because it's a Zelda game.
I have like a love-hate relationship with this game in that I do think it's fun and I do like the gameplay, but I don't like it as a Zelda game.
Well,
Because it's too different.
I have said in the past that this game is it hardly anything like a Zelda game in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
And I think that I kind of like this series more when it sticks to its roots, even
Mm.
though this formula has gotten very stale, and I understand why they took a different direction.
Yeah.
I
think they went too
against you
far.
there. I'm definitely on the other side of this because when I played Breath of the Wild, I had just done a run through. I was like, do I even like Zelda games? And this might be part of the problem.
Mhm.
I was like, do I even like Zelda games? And I went and played a bunch of the ones that people really seem to enjoy, and I found out, oh yes, I do, but not all of them. And playing Breath of the Wild after that, it gave me the same feeling that I got in Link to the Past and the first Zelda game, where it's like, oh, there's this big world, and I can run around in it, and it's something special. Like, it degrades over time, of course, as you discover more about that world. The less mystery there is, the less fun I was having. Like,
Yeah.
after the Divine Beasts were done with, I didn't care. Like, I'm like, all right, I'm done, I'm ready. Because, like, there was not as much for me to discover anymore, like, after you have the Master Sword, after you have the Divine Beasts.
Yeah,
After,
I think that's the game's
after you've
biggest,
seen all the
strength is that the world is fun to explore. But
Yeah.
I think that's also the most finite thing about the game.
oh, yeah, like, you can run out of places
Yeah.
to go.
Well,
and
you'll
then-
never run
Yeah.
out of shrines, and you'll never run out of, like, shit.
I ran out of shrines.
Yeah, unless you're a crazy
Yeah.
person like Seth.
Yeah.
You'll never run out of Korok seeds, but you'll definitely run out of having fun exploring the world.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna fucking try the Korok seeds.
Yeah.
There's like 900 of those or something like that.
All right, George, you want to go next?
Yeah, sure.
Who's the host here, Cam?
Now it's
It's
me.
Nick.
Hey, he wants to try and lead
Oh,
discussion.
If you
Let
eat
him.
the host, you become
Yeah.
the host.
I'm gonna bore Dick.
As,
As teased in our first episode. I appreciate those of you that waited 2 months for that payoff.
It was so worth it though.
we have lore, right? We have podcast lore.
Four lore?
We have lore lore.
We need to come out with
Valor.
Or
a podcast Bible of sorts.
Podcast Bible.
Like the Doom
Yeah.
Bible.
Yeah.
Which comes to my week. No, I'm just kidding. I did
You were
not
talking
play
about Doom again.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I've been playing Doom for like a month straight.
Every week for the last 3 months.
Beats the entire game and then starts over.
Just I keep playing it. Just the violence really just keeps me going. No, I'm just kidding. But I've been with you guys for a lot of my week. I saw you guys.
So fucking
Hell
suck.
yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty horrible. It's
Yeah.
probably
Ruined it.
one of the worst weeks of my life, if I had to say so myself. I think I saw you guys Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday.
Jesus, that's too much.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then
wild.
today, which is like,
And
don't,
today.
don't even get me started.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
my God.
That is actually what I was going to do for my week. So I was going to talk about yesterday. We went to George, Alex, and I went to try to get shoes for Sarah. And so the shoe store that I usually go to expanded, which is cool. Which is funny. I guess they must do pretty good business because they used to be just that little section,
Mhm.
and I guess they bought the place next door. So that was good. But mostly I want to talk about, we went to Mike's Calzones on Thayer Street.
Oh, yeah.
It was really good. Did we all get the same thing? No, George.
I got a
right?
honey barbecue chicken wrap. And it was
Was it
pretty dang tasty. Oh, and I got jalapeno poppers too,
Oh,
which
those
good
were
stuff.
the classic.
Mm.
Only things they gave me ranch. I don't think you should give ranch for those.
What do you think is blue cheese?
Yeah, it's a blue cheese thing to me.
I feel like any like spicy thing, the standard is blue cheese.
Blue
but
cheese.
I
is
think
better
so.
than ranch.
I'm like a blue
cheese-
cheese supremacist
I really
of sorts.
don't
though,
like either
so-
of those things.
You don't like blue cheese?
I don't like blue cheese. Don't like ranch.
That's the
ranch
kind of
is
stuff
bad.
I
I
only
like
have
ranch.
when I have it with something.
Yeah.
Like I'd never
You don't
like
have big
I'd never
bowl of blue
well
cheese.
I never go out of my way and be like, oh, I want blue cheese with this. It's like, oh, this comes with blue cheese on it. All right.
So,
But anyway, so we got at least Alex and I got the shawarma because I was going to get a gyro. And then the
Gyro.
guy was like, I asked him what meat I should get in it. And he's like, well, we do the lamb, which they had on the spit roast in the background, like, or, you know, like on the, what do you call that thing?
No idea.
On the rotisserie.
It was like,
Like,
yeah, it was like
you
a
went to
rotisserie.
culinary school. Why don't you?
I didn't
know this?
rotisserie any bread.
You didn't take rotisserie
I went to
101?
baking
I thought that's
school.
how they cooked, like,
Yeah, I was going to get the
My
gyro.
loud keys.
And
Yeah.
I asked him what meat I should get, and he's like, well, we get the lamb and the chicken in the back, but that's not on the gyro. You should really get the shawarma. And I'm like, oh, yeah? He's like, yeah, it's better.
He
Like, he
upsold
just
the shawarma so
said,
hard.
yeah, but they were the same price.
I know, but he's like, the shawarma
Yeah, he was
is
like,
the way
get
to
But
go.
this instead.
but like,
Maybe
haven't
he
you ever
didn't
worked at
feel
a
like
place
making
where
gyro.
a customer would make a decision and you wanted to tell them, like,
Yeah.
actually get something?
I just
else?
thought it was interesting. I'm glad he did it because it was delicious. It
It was
had
good.
What was the
it's
thing that you
always-
got me? You
the
got-
same
It
thing.
was the same.
Yeah.
Oh, the shawarma?
Yeah, did you eat it?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
And
do
I
you
thought
like,
you said heroes
Did I?
earlier.
No,
and
I
I'm
said
like,
heroes your shawarma.
okay, so I got into an argument
Here,
with,
yo,
with,
it's
with
your
with
shawarma.
Emily, and she's like, you're pronouncing it like there's an H in it, and there's definitely not. What's the currency for the European Union? I'm like, euros. And she's like, that's how you're supposed to pronounce it.
is that actually how you're supposed to pronounce it?
That's what she said. I don't know.
It's
whether-
5 euros for a euro.
Oh my gosh.
I asked the cashier this
Uh-huh.
last time I was at Mike's Calzones, and he said, it's whatever. Everybody says, it's like, since everybody says it differently, it just becomes they're all right. There's
Yeah.
no...
I want to talk about that sneaker store that
yeah,
Cam brought us to.
You have a
That
single fact to back that up.
pretty dang sweet. I've never been to like wait, I guess it's like a Foot Locker. A Foot Locker wasn't for like dads. It was
You
really
ever
cool.
watched that show, Sneaker Shopping, on the
Oh,
YouTube
the complex
show?
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
It's
seen
like
that.
one of those places. Like, I
Exactly.
always never thought like actual sneaker stores existed until I went to that one.
It's like a boutique, but not as bougie.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
well, it's a
boutique.
boutique, right?
Boutique.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
I guess yeah. But it's sweet. They had a bunch of cool sneakers in different colorways that like I've never seen in a store. Like usually things I just see online. And they also had some fucking sweet jackets. There was one jacket. It was $160, but I wanted it so bad. It was this thick cotton, like
Oh my god.
bomber-ish
Yeah,
type
it was
jacket.
like a bomber Letterman jacket almost, but it was an overall tiger print.
Yeah.
Tiger
It was like
pattern was
embroidered
so
tiger
good.
print.
It was so sick.
It was also hot yesterday, so George merely picked it up and like, you can't wear that for 6 months. Like, it was so heavy. It was nuts.
The jacket was actually thick as hell. It was really.
It was thick AF.
It was
So
thick AF.
thick. Yeah, it was cool, and that place it's not even overpriced. Like they,
Yeah.
like even like some stuff was underpriced there.
The
It was
sneakers
kinda
were
nuts.
pretty good prices. I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, I've still never bought anything from there. I go there all the time, and I never. I guess because I don't impulse buy shoes. Like I'm like research it, and then I find them online, and then I find the best price and do it that way. But they had like new stuff, like shoes that had come out recently. It was pretty cool.
I actually really want to buy those Nike Air More Up Tempos. I have a pair, but mine are so beat up.
No, you. All right, so for the listener and Nick and Sam, George has those shoes that say Air on the side of them.
The ones that Scottie Pippen used to wear.
Black shoes. They're so cool. I wish I could pull them off. They're black shoes, and the outline of Air is in white.
Mhm.
George wants to buy black shoes where the outline is in black.
Yeah.
So the same exact shoe.
Guys, I'll take a picture of them one day. They're so beat up.
Dude, get a different color or something.
Yeah.
You gotta move on with your life, George.
But they're
Get
so
the
sweet.
same one.
I can't. I got the same pair of sneakers twice in high school. I had these. They
Well, if you
were.
like what you got, why would you change?
Yeah,
They were-
it's kind of true.
I had a
They
point
had-
where I had a couple different pairs of Converse for the colors.
Oh well, I had the same pair, same colorway. It was. I had the Nike Air Force Ones, except they were like suede black with a white bottom, and then the Nike sign was zebra.
Oh my god.
And I was like 15, so then I
I'd
beat
love
them.
to see you wear those things.
Oh, it would not look right. But yeah, I don't know. It also made me appreciate like sneaker culture a lot more.
Yeah, it was so cool. Like,
It was really
I wish- Dude, it's real.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's real.
It's you got to think like I also realized I don't dress as well as I used to. I was like, oh man, these guys all look very good.
You,
That's the
you
thing
and
about-
Cam still dress hundreds of miles better than like everyone else I know.
Thank you. That's the thing about having a job and not going to school now is I don't like even when I went to school I went to culinary school, so I had to wear a uniform most of the time, but when I didn't I got to wear what I wanted to wear and go out and walk around. But now on my weekends I mostly stay home, so I'm like wearing my shoes around the house because I don't have any other time that I can wear them. Like it's like, and you have to be slightly business casual, right? You have to have a collared shirt. You said
I have to wear a collared shirt. I could wear whatever shoes. So I should just like one day flex on these
you
six-year-olds.
absolutely have to do that.
I tweeted about it one time. I actually got flexed on really hard by like my 50-year-old coworker.
Belt, right?
Really?
No, he
With
had.
the belt.
Oh, I kept on running a joke that I was gonna buy a Gucci belt, but I have a coworker that's like 50 something, and I remember telling him like, "Oh no, I just got like this jean jacket. It's pretty sweet. It's actually it's my girlfriend's mom's old jean jacket, but it's so sweet. It's this old Gap jean jacket. I love
think
it.
you wore it last time you were over here.
Yeah.
That one's cool.
Yeah, it's
Very
dope.
Vintage.
Is that the one with the fluff?
No, not that
No.
one.
Okay.
No, it's a lighter one. It's the light
Okay,
one.
yeah.
And I want to get a patch on the inside, but I really liked it, and I was like telling my coworker I was all stoked for it. So I show up at work the next day, and he also shows up, and he has a black jean jacket with a painted back. That's so it's like
Oh my
like smoky wolves on the back,
God.
and he had like black pants too. Oh my god, I got wrecked so hard.
He totally did that.
He went up to me
Walked
super
out of,
hard.
walked out of a concert and was like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to come into my full-time job." All right, Seb, how was your week?
It was pretty good. I'm back at part-time at my job because it was driving me insane, and I'm getting ready to enter a training program for a better job. And better job that pays more money,
Be better.
and I don't have to deal with like rude customers all day.
What about the people that buy the submarines?
The people that buy the submarines, I don't have to interact with them, fortunately.
What if you?
I really don't want to interact
Imagine if
with
they just hired you for a
everybody.
sales job.
Cashier at ED.
Yeah, there's like a submarine showroom.
Donald Trump shows up. I would like to buy 10 submarines, please. Or
Do you
like
take post-dated checks?
so I did that. I was playing Deus Ex. I resubbed to WoW again.
How much is it?
all right, we
If
really
you don't
can't-
mind me
15.
putting you
We
on
can't
blast.
have a show where somebody comes on every week and they're like, "So I got back into heroin." We can't do that. We can't do that.
Melee
did
is
it
like
because
high class.
They have a special going on
Well,
for
destroy
1
body
week,
just as fast.
right? It's just this week special heroin.
Mhm.
Okay. It's called
Oh, Kids Week, right? Or
yeah,
is
it's
that-
Children's Week. Heroin. Children's heroin. And I'm trying to get like a special meta achievement, which you have to complete all of the achievements for the holidays they have throughout the year. So there's like a New Year's one, a Lunar New Year's one, Christmas,
Sounds
Halloween,
hard.
Thanksgiving, Easter. Yeah, it takes a long time. Like
It sounds like you have to play during every holiday.
yeah,
the
it
entire
sounds
year.
like it's taking me 10 years to complete this achievement, literally. Like, actually, literally, because the achievement system came out in, like,
Luckily,
2008.
it'll be worth it.
Yeah, I will get a Violet Proto-Drake as a mount, which is...
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I
At
want
least
it.
it's a physical reward instead of they're just like, you did it.
Yeah,
like-
like, I don't really care about achievements that are just like, you did it. They give you incentives for stuff, so... Yeah, I've got most of the achievement done for this event, except there's, so what you do is you take an orphan around from one of the orphanages and just do shit with them. So right now, I have to take my orphan around and go to PvP battlegrounds and
That's
complete...
not safe.
there's also
You mean
go kill...
OVO,
yeah.
Orphan versus orphan.
Orphan, yeah, that would be way better.
October's very own battleground. That's
Uh,
Drake's version of Fortnite.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Well,
So I've completed the rest of the achievement, all the PvE content, but I am not a PvPer, like, at all. Like, I
Seb
suck.
is too pure to compete with anybody.
No, I just want to be in a raid group and we all work together, guys. Let's kill
You gotta wreck nerds.
Argus.
play Destiny.
Yeah, in the real world, you have to own people. It's the only way to survive.
But I'm having trouble finishing the rest of the achievement because they're like very specific things you have to do in the battleground. It's not just like go to the battleground with your orphan or kill one person with your orphan watching.
Teach them the finality of death.
That's,
Is that the new
that's
God
the,
of War game?
that's the plot. No, dude, that's the plot to Lone Wolf and Cub.
It's like return
Samurai, baby.
the flag in Warsong Gulch with your orphan out, and I did it like it's kind of hard because Alliance never wins War Song Gold.
With your orphan.
It's hard for me because I'm bad at PvP and the Horde is good at PvP and I suck.
Yeah, I'm more of a PvE person too.
Yeah. But that's basically what I've been doing this
Sounds
week.
like you guys aren't actually good at video
You're not
games.
wrecking nerds after school, dude.
Hey, that's the only way to play.
I'm not out here
I
on
suck at
Dust,
video games.
like
I suck at video games
grinding.
except for
Is that like Call
Picross.
of Duty Modern Warfare 2? Dust?
Modern Warfare 2 might have been... No,
Was
wait.
it?
No, wait. Dust is...
What's the
Counter-Strike?
main?
Dust is Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Oh, what's
Dust
the
is
main
Counter-Strike.
Bull is TF2.
Modern Warfare 2.
Dust-
and
no,
that's
what's
also,
1v1 me on Rust?
That's Rust.
Rust. Okay.
Yeah, I had to
Not
say
to
one.
be
Dust
One
is
minute.
Counter-Strike. Rust is TF2.
I'm sorry. I won't be
Why-
on the next episode, alright?
Got a casual gamer here, guy.
Oh, boy.
That's my age.
Yeah, when it gets to George's episode, George is going to put us on a video game pit to fight to the death.
Okay.
Finally.
Game to the death, the last one not owned, covered in the blood of the
You have
enemies
to
around.
absolutely frag 10 noobs, or else you have to review that.
First one owned gets berated in Twitch chat
Oh
by
no,
me.
I wouldn't be able to handle that.
I
My
also
podcast
I finished a video game this week, which is very rare for me.
We can finish video games.
Yeah. Yeah, wow.
Or just
Like
get to the final
I
boss.
didn't
Cam's
know.
looking into his beer right now.
I didn't know you could finish a video game. I've just been playing World of Warcraft for like 10 years. And, like there's no end to it, you know? You can just
Can't
keep
tell if we're
going.
done yet.
Yeah.
But the end game just lasts forever. But I finished Picross S, which is like not really a game. It's a collection of puzzles, but it's on the Switch. It's just a bunch of Picross puzzles.
It's like
Still,
finishing
that's-
a book of crossword puzzles.
Yeah. And I finished it
Which
after
is-
like several months. And I was very proud of myself. And the last thing I did was a slice of pizza. And I was very happy about that pizza. And
yeah.
Nice.
and that was my week.
What about Nick?
What?
Nick-
What do you
We're
mean?
doing a show.
No, what
You're
I
on
mean
Nick.
is like I thought you were referencing her talking about Picross and you're saying what about Nick?
Why
Like,
don't
because
you
I
do
played
Picross?
it.
Yeah, Nick,
Yeah,
did
what
you
about
beat
Mr.
any
Picross
games
over
lately?
here?
A
What?
game that
Nick's
rhymes
bro.
with Rio?
Oh boy.
Rio. Why have we been calling it Rio?
Okay, so on the topic of Neo, I have been playing more of it, and that game is still on notice, but I have moved forward very slightly. I whooped the ass of the centipede that these guys watch me die a
Oh,
thousand
God.
times to. It stopped clipping through the floor long enough for me to hit it, and I was happy with that. And then the next level was immediately, okay, this is Spider Nest Castle. Hope you like spiders. Here you go.
I love spiders.
Oh boy. But the other thing I did this week was thanks to a lovely donation from good friend Seb. I read Action Comics 1000, which came out
Oh, where'd you
last
find
week. She just ordered it
Amazon.
online, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it like $20?
Yeah.
It was
With shipping.
yeah.
It was
I'm sorry.
a special cover.
Yeah, it was a variant cover because they did one
Oh,
based
cool.
on every decade that
Ah.
he's been in. It was the 1930s one, which is one of my favorite pieces of art
Yeah.
in there.
Nick was on the Discord complaining about how sick he was
Nick was
last week.
extremely on the line. He was getting
He
mad
was
on the line.
Very upset about having missed this because it was sold out immediately. Because
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Action Comics 1000.
Yeah, fat nerds that aren't me were
Not sick with the flu.
that were not sick with the flu went to comic stores to pick up Action Comics 1000 and promptly bag it and board it and never touched again.
Yeah.
And
Still go to comic stores to buy
I know.
comics?
I can't
Yeah.
believe it, honestly.
Yeah.
oh boy,
And apparently
getting put on glass.
the next time that the comic was supposed to ship was in 2 weeks, and I was like, I can't let this stand. So immediately I go on Amazon and buy him the best cover I can find, and then I discuss with him what the best cover is, and he's like, oh, I
Well, it's
really like the
definitely not
1930s
the
one.
30s one. Oh.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But
Hate the
I had
30s
already
one
bought it,
with a
so I
passion.
know
Woodburn.
I know my friends. I know
Yeah.
what he likes.
If I got the 30s one, I would snap my neck in front of everyone.
No,
Zod
timely,
myself.
Man of Steel reference, dude.
Uh,
But I want to say that I am a massive Superman fanboy. I'm not wearing it right now, but I'm usually constantly wearing a Superman watch. I've got like the socks and everything. I'm a brand whore, but the real problem is like, I feel like a jackass talking about it because like, you just get like, oh, why do you like that boring guy? That boring guy who all he is strong, but then those same people will say like, yeah, but also Batman, Iron Man, and Goku could beat him in a fight. It's like, what do you even like?
Yeah.
One
It's
of the
like
big
one
problems.
side. Is he the best or is he not good?
Yeah, and they can't decide why they don't like this character, but all they know is they don't care. And I understand that part of the problem is that this character has had bad movies for bad movies since 1975. One was Superman 2, and even that one's kind of weird now. But the point is, like, in the public consciousness, this character hasn't been in a good thing in anyone's lifetime that I know. And like I only
About
like
the
really
DC animated universe.
the DC animated universe is amazing, but like even that's kind of faded from the public eye, you know? Like I guess that there are still a lot of people that's important to, including me. I have those DVDs like right 5 feet from us right now.
Yeah.
But it's just like for me to say, "Oh yeah, I love Superman." Other people would just be like, "Why?"
But you also like red.
Yeah.
The red Power Ranger.
I bet you also
Optimus
like Leonardo,
Prime.
you jackass.
Leonardo is the perfect example.
The Soviet Union.
Yeah, I really like the Soviet Union, the original government.
All the red. You just
Okay.
love it.
Yeah, it's not. It'll be an eventual rant for when I make everyone read All Star Superman or something. But like it just does bug me. Like I feel like there are amazing stories to be told with Superman, and some of my favorite stories in that anthology that was Action Comics 1000. They brought on a bunch of different writers, brought a bunch of different artists.
Is it big? It's bigger than
It is bigger than normal. It has like an actual spine as opposed to the staple back
cool.
that most of them do.
Huh.
Can't push that one around.
Yeah, no, you can't.
It's not spineless.
New writer that they brought on that's a big guy from Marvel, Bendis. His story was kind of bad, but and I'm not really looking forward.
And
to
now
his run.
he's
now he's like, oh, we're gonna give him our most important property, Superman, because he did so well at Marvel for so many years, and his story kind of sucks. Not looking forward to that, but all the other ones were really good. And some of my favorite stories in that book were ones where Superman did not punch anyone, and because there are a lot of really good stories that happen that way.
And he like laser beams them and stuff.
Absolutely melts.
He just instead of that, he melts them.
He's so good, he doesn't need to touch them.
Yeah.
I was gonna make a joke before when you were like, "Oh, there's so many different stories." Like, yeah, like the one where he punches the guy, or the one where he beams the guy, or he freezes the guy. That one's good too. Yeah, true.
All right. I'll be put on blast here.
I'm kidding.
It's really good. An anthology, when the price goes down, when it starts to be available again, if it's something, it's not going to make you any money in 20 years. So if you're trying to like save,
I bought 10 of them.
Oh,
fuck.
If you're trying to
Here's
get
the reason Nick couldn't get any of it.
I'd like to buy exactly the amount of copies that make sure that my friend can't come into the store and get them.
I can't believe you got owned offline though. That's
I did get. Yeah, you should only be owned online.
Yeah.
There should be strict boundaries. Superman is good, and I am not taking arguments about the subject, at least not on this show.
We'll take written letters.
Yeah,
That is our
written letter. If you want to write into the show, I'm not giving you an address. If you find us somehow,
Eventually, I'll make a Twitter account for the show, and I'll be the absolute worst. on it.
we already have an email address, and
Yeah.
I think I put together a Twitch too, but I just never.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Westhaver wants to start streaming.
Yeah, I thought about us doing that today, but then we just ended up. What did we end up doing?
You have the capture card and everything.
Yeah.
could stream me running into walls in Skate 3 for like 5
honestly.
hours.
Hell yeah.
I mean, I would watch
brother.
that even if I wasn't here. We are going to take a brief break to close Cam's window
I'll shut
and drink some water. And we're going to come right back and talk about the video game Deus Ex.
Deuce.
We're gonna do
drink.
sex.
We now return with Deus Ex on Please Don't Listen to This. Your life depends on it.
And we're back. Alex, you want to give us a little bit of an intro on Deus Ex?
All right, so I'm
Without
talking
just
about,
reading the intro of the game?
I'm talking about Deus Ex here.
Sounds dirty.
The greatest PC game of all time.
The original
As
Matrix.
said by someone somewhere. I don't know why. Like, this game is really highly rated, but I don't know why.
by some magazine that existed for 1 year.
I don't know why that stuck.
Yeah, I'm playing Game of the Year edition, which I'm like, what?
You hear greatest PC game of all time, Deus Ex, like rather regularly, and I'm like, wow. But yeah.
Do you realize that Barbie Pony Ride is on the PC?
Vegeta Dragon Ball Z Dress Up Simulator exists on every browser.
Sonic Create a Character for Newgrounds is on the PC. Don't you know?
I definitely used a Dragon Ball created character when I was younger. 100%.
You have to.
So, Deus Ex is a FPS RPG released in the year 2000 by Ion Storm. Austin?
Eidos?
No, they didn't.
They have the license now.
Yeah, they eventually acquired it, but they didn't have
Okay,
anything to
that's
do with
why
the
I
first
got
one.
that screen on there.
Yeah, Eidos Montreal makes the new ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ironstorm Austin, I believe, is
Yeah.
the one that made this, and then Ironstorm Dallas made Daikatana,
Yeah.
which is a different story.
That's on the PCast.
Yeah,
Daikatana.
Yes.
Ion Storm made this game, Deus Ex, Daikatana, and a game no one remembers called Anachronox. Not too important. Basically, Ion Storm was founded as a way for a bunch of creatives to get together and make what essentially are their dream games. So this is War Inspector's dream game. And it's cool. So this Deus Ex is an extension of kind of the immersive sim design philosophy spearheaded by Looking Glass Studios back in the 90s. They made a lot of popular games like Thief. Started with Ultima Underworld, System Shock 1 and 2, and Thief. And then they closed down. And all of the people
They made all the games they needed to make.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, since a lot of those games were groundbreaking, but they were never like smash hits.
Yeah.
Like they didn't make Half-Life. Like Half-Life sold fucking millions, but like even Deus Ex didn't sell half as well.
Mm.
No.
But
Deus Ex didn't sell well enough to save Ion Storm.
yeah. So these games were all notoriously very expensive to make and didn't sell as well. But they're passion projects through and through. And that kind of, the developer lineage can be traced back to even modern games. BioShock, Prey, Dishonored, all that stuff is part of this developer legacy. Which is really cool that these guys are still making passion project games.
Yeah, I like that as an idea. I didn't know that's what they...
Something
of
that
philosophy behind it was.
Starting with Ultima Underworld, especially, something that I like about Western RPGs in general that you can absolutely see in Deus Ex is that they take specific things from tabletop RPGs like Dungeons and Dragons and GURPS, which is generic use role-playing system.
Yeah.
And it's like these guys who used to sit around a table and have character sheets and do stuff like that were like, wow, it sure would be good if we could play a video game like that, but there wasn't any out there. And I mean, the people who made Dragon Quest in Japan had the exact same idea, but they just took different things from those tabletop games. Like in Japan, what they took was the number systems. Like, well, it's a random chance whether you hit or don't hit, and you have these stats that will level up automatically when you reach a certain amount of experience, and you get rewards and you open chests and you do stuff like that. And in the West, it was like, well, how I would solve this problem in my D&D game is I would talk to the elves and I would see if maybe they had something that they wanted that I could trade to them, or if maybe I could sleep with one of them, and that would solve the problem.
My character would shoot them all.
Yeah.
So he's going to do that.
And Alex's character and my character would be something that both had to be accommodated for. And that's what they decided to make games based around. And so you can really see that in a lot of Western RPGs. And I feel like it definitely culminates years and years later in games like Deus Ex.
Yeah. A lot of this, I'll probably be saying it a lot, but immersive sim design is this kind of game design philosophy that is built around player agency, choice, and having a lot of options for the player to express their particular play style. So Deus Ex is very much an extension of that, and it definitely comes from that kind of Dungeons and Dragons character building kind of role playing thing. But it's also an old quote. I wish I had dug it up, but a lot of the stuff, especially Looking Glass, they were they were hearing about how virtual reality could become a thing, and this was back in the '90s, so it's archaic.
Yeah.
But
So they were right about to come
They
out.
wanted to make games that would work well in virtual reality, as opposed to more linear experiences where you're set on one path. They wanted to make something that felt like a world that you could explore. So that's kind of where their whole design philosophy came from, which is pretty fucking cool.
One last thing before we go into impressions. Do you want to give people a basic rundown of what the hook of the game is, like the plot, so people have an image in their head?
Yeah. So you're a genetically engineered super soldier, JC Denton, and you go to work on your first day. You work for UNATCO, the United Nations Anti-Terrorist Coalition. Your brother tells you that they have that terrorists have come in and locked down the Statue of Liberty.
On your first day, no less.
Yep. So you pick a weapon, either a
Sniper rifle.
a rocket launcher, or a crossbow, and you have to go take down or interrogate and force the terrorist leader to surrender. And that's basically the first mission.
And it sets you on a path through the entire game.
And the story of the game is like you fighting against all the other, or not fighting against, but like wrestling with all the other corporate.
Yeah, you get tied up in basically global conspiracies and a vie for power for basically every shadowy organization ever.
Oh yeah, and Warren Spector, I think it was Warren Spector anyway, described this game as, when I was designing the world, I envisioned a place where every conspiracy anyone had ever thought of was true. And I decided to design
Just
a world
like
around
our
that.
world.
Just like our world.
Yeah, 9/11 was even an inside job before 9/11 happened.
Right.
Actually, funny you mentioned that,
there
because
is
the
a
Twin
story.
Towers are not in this
That's
game.
why I said that.
Due to memory limitations, they could not put the Twin Towers in the skybox.
Wow. You can't
So
design something
as-
that was never really
So
there.
as a throwaway, when asked as a throwaway, one of the developers of this game said, "Oh, they were taken on in a terrorist attack."
Oh my
And
god. That's
This came
insane.
out in 2001.
Yeah,
No,
it just came in 2000.
Or, sorry,
Yeah.
2000. I
This
meant
had
before
horrible
2001.
timing. It came out September 12th.
You joke, but if we ever do an episode on Metal Gear Solid 2, the story about that game is almost literally what you just said.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's amazing.
2001, big scene takes place in New York that they had to remove from the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
Didn't they just say it was in DC?
No.
Oh, really?
They're like,
They
"Wait,
took
why
the
is
whole
this-
scene out?
No.
Why is the Statue of Liberty in DC? Another gift.
We just, yeah.
Actually,
They moved it.
George, do you want to start with impressions? What did you think of this game?
I definitely enjoyed it. I'm happy that in the end of the last episode, Alex gave us a fair warning that it is not your typical modern shooter. 'Cause I came in and I grew up playing, like not grew up, I initially was introduced to PC, like to shooters on the PC. And then I played a little bit of shooters on the PC in college. But for the most part, I was just like a console pleb when it came to PC, when it came to PCs, when it came to shooters. But like the bit of experience that I've had with shooters on PC is that they're super responsive. Everything is like that's where I hit.
Just like this game.
Everything's perfect. Yeah. So I'll get. Basically, it was that did not happen. Essentially, which I died on the first level like really quickly because I start running in, I trank someone, and it takes a second for them to actually be tranquilized.
like 2 minutes.
the-
It takes
Yeah.
a long
The
time.
beginner's
So
trap
bad.
in this game is picking the tranquilizer
Yes.
dart launcher and then shooting it at the first person, expecting them to instantly fall over asleep.
Yep.
The enemies will run around for several
Scream in
seconds,
pain.
screaming,
Everyone in the game.
and then they will fall over.
Yeah.
And this is where my problem started because I was like, oh god, he's alerting everyone. So I pull out my pistol, I shoot him, lit him up, fragged him, got a quick single. And then his buds came around and I'm like, all right, here it goes. Time to take out multiple enemies at the same
It's
time.
only 2 enemies.
Yeah. Wrong. I
Yeah.
missed every single shot,
Correct.
ran out of ammo, tried to just rush him with the cattle prod, and ended up just dying. It died hard.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
reloading takes for fucking
Oh my god.
ever.
it's so long.
Especially on some guns, like the assault rifle takes like a good 15 seconds
Yeah,
or
I
something
think
like that.
there are reload speed mods.
Oh,
There
sure.
are.
There
Yeah.
are,
Yeah.
but you can't get put them on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
It's a bit annoying.
Yeah.
So if you can't duck for cover, then you're kind of screwed while you're reloading.
Yeah. This game is definitely I've said it before, but this is an RPG first, FPS second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
And so
feel it.
so if you don't level your shit up, you're not going to hit anything.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
even if you do, you probably won't do full damage.
Yeah.
Unless you get like exactly in the teeny tiny
Yeah.
hitbox in
You
their
gotta stand
head.
still for 30 minutes to take one shot. But I think that's definitely part of like the intended experience.
Mhm. I don't hate it.
yeah.
It's just like a little bit frustrating.
It is
at
hard
first.
to get used to, especially nowadays when like a lot of shooters are putting RPG systems in that don't really impact your accuracy or damage. They just like tack on extra squeaky rubber ducks to your guns.
Yeah, movement, reloads, like stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, it's never accuracy.
You
I
just
definitely
have-
appreciate that the game makes you it makes you play it the way you build your character, because
Yeah, you can't just pick whatever path is the easiest and
Switch
at
off,
whatever
yeah.
moment, and then switch for whatever else.
yes. I
Yeah.
started it. I forgot what I initially invested in, but after I died on the first level, immediately didn't save, so I just restarted. And I realized I was like, oh, okay, so I definitely have to upgrade my pistol.
Yeah.
So I trained myself in the pistol category, and I had a lot easier time dealing with enemies.
Oh,
I did
yeah.
try to be like a sneaky boy, but the game is also like you don't have a ton of ammo for like the tranquilizer dart. So it makes you actually, it's not like other games where it's like, oh, there's a ton of ammo laying around everywhere. You want to sneak and sleep the entire compound, you can. It's like, you're going to have to specifically target people that are in your way in order to actually get to where you want, rather than...
Which I think is a more sensible way to do a stealth.
It makes sense,
because if you're, it's stupid for a stealth approach to be, oh, I'm going to knock out everyone, then loot the whole area.
Yeah, and
it's
then sprint around this
I'm
compound.
only going to knock out the guys who are in my way just to get to the mission objective.
Yeah, I like to knock everybody out. Like, I like to just mow everyone down. Though
those two sound like two different things.
Yeah, you mean lethal?
I like to
so normally
knock everyone unconscious by shooting them with my gun.
So, I hope, like, do you guys mind, like, slight spoilers? How far did you get?
I only did the first level.
Yeah,
It's fine, yeah.
Cam and George were pretty early, but I don't think they're too worried about spoiler stuff.
Okay. I mean, it's not like a huge plot twist or anything, but there is a plot twist. So, like, at first, when we were just fighting terrorists, I was like, oh, just fucking kill terrorists, fuck you.
America.
Yeah, America.
Right.
And then at the point where it was like, oh no, now the guys I work for are the bad guys.
Yeah.
And I wasn't sure, like, what's
I don't
going
know.
on
If
at
you're
first.
working for the government, you're definitely doing the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
One real quick, I want to bring up that JC has to remind everyone that they're the police all the time.
Yeah.
Just the first 2 minutes, he's like, we are the cops. And the guy's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You're dressed like Neo from the Matrix.
Yeah.
You have a
Like,
giant
you're the police.
Yeah.
You get called out for it, too.
Yeah.
Like,
Every time bad
on
guys see you, that guy, get him. He's
Yeah.
a cop.
Guy in coat.
Yeah. Anna
Crashes.
Navarra's like, are you going to wear those shades this whole time? He's like, they're cool.
They're extremely cool, so I have to.
That's pretty much what he says.
Yeah.
It's so I do really appreciate the dialogue, and there's
Yes.
a lot of things I like the game. Even though I initially didn't like how it controlled, I got used to it pretty quickly.
Yeah, you get used
after
to
I
it.
rebinded some keys and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
felt
Oh, they're
a lot better.
jank at
A
first.
couple, you got to rebind all 8 lean keys.
Yeah,
And,
I appreciate that there's a lean though, because I came from like
Yeah.
Rainbow Six type games where it
As,
felt real tactical.
as janky as Deus Ex is, System Shock 1 is the pinnacle of jank, at least when I
Oh
played.
man,
That game doesn't have mouse look by default.
Oh my God.
There are buttons to turn your character around that you have to push.
What is this, Dragon's Lair?
Yeah.
Oh, is this real life?
the game's definitely. It was funny for me to play a game that old though, coming
Yeah.
from like
Definitely.
mainly playing like modern games,
Yeah.
except for Melee. But
yeah, I'm the same as you. I don't really loop back to older games very often.
exactly. So it was cool to look back
Yeah.
into it, and then
I think it's, sorry to interrupt. I think it's super interesting to play games from a time where the control schemes weren't super homogenized.
Yeah, everybody found
Yeah.
the best control scheme and mostly
Yeah.
sticks to that.
Yeah.
The
Because
thing that
if you play any modern shooter on PC, all of them use the same key buttons
Yeah.
because they're the best key buttons.
Right.
But also any console action game, all of those control schemes are completely homogenized.
everything
now.
has like the Call of Duty.
But if you go
control
back to
scheme.
the GameCube era or the PS2 era,
Yeah,
They all
everything's
control differently.
all over the
Yeah.
place.
The crouch key in this is default set to X,
Mhm.
right? Which is
Oh.
if you're controlling with
Thank you.
WASD, that's a pain in the ass, and it's not default set to keep you crouched.
Yeah.
So you're like trying to
Yeah, it's like a
press
hold
X.
instead of a toggle.
You guys
Yeah.
had trouble with that?
No,
I
it's-
had trouble
it's-
with that until I rebounded to shift.
yeah.
I just have it
use-
as
I
X because I just use my thumb, and then
Yeah.
my three
No, I
pointer, middle, and ring are just used for WASD.
I use hold to crouch on most everything, but it's always control. I always rebounded to that.
I
Yeah.
immediately changed everything to toggle. I hate holding button on
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I changed my crouch to toggle.
Yeah.
So,
That's
something
another
else
thing
that,
about this game. It has options.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a PC game, so you can rebind all of your controls.
Yeah.
I definitely was also having issues with the game just because of the fact I was so used to how smooth like modern games are. So when the game starts, they tell you like, yeah, your brother's gonna give you more intel, and you're on like this dark dock, and you're like, oh, there's probably some shifty fellows around here.
Probably
You
a
start with a
cutscene coming up. Or
yeah,
something.
probably a
Your brother shows
cutscene.
up.
Like it's I have to go past a certain point, like a normal like modern game. I'm sure,
Normally,
and
your
then
brother would then just walk up to you. Like, you wouldn't have to
just
wait.
walk up like a normal person. But instead, your brother runs up like a madman, like
They
full
do that
sprint.
all the
Full
time.
sprint
What'd
out
you
of
say?
the darkness.
It's like Get Out. He does
Yeah.
like the Get Out run, and I immediately. I've never pressed like swap weapons so fast. I immediately pulled out my pistol,
Trying
aimed
to
it,
gun this
and I was
stranger
like,
down.
I was 100% about
You
to
could
blast him.
probably
But then I
kill
saw
it.
the green. I saw the
You
green,
can't.
No,
and
you can kill anybody else.
He's
There are a
unkillable.
couple people
Yeah.
in certain places
Too
you
strong.
can't kill.
Mm.
Yeah, that does go back to the type of simulationist game design where it's like, oh, you can kill this relatively important character, but the game just goes on.
Oh my
Yeah.
They'll
God.
react to what you did. Like, what the fuck?
They react to
But-
like random shit. I got called out for going in the women's bathroom by my boss. So
That's
That
one of
was
those first moments in the first level where they're like, oh shit, like this game actually takes note of the things that I do. Like
Yeah.
it might not change the narrative very much, and it really doesn't.
Yeah, just
But
dialogue.
they'll
treat
call
you
you out.
differently, yeah.
yeah,
That's-
the ammunitions guy got mad at me for like shooting up everybody up, and he's
Yeah.
like, "I'm not giving you any ammo." I'm like, "Well,
Yeah.
fuck you. I guess I'll try to use my trank darts more."
Yeah.
I thought I was being sneaky. I wanted to be sneaky, and I was like, I'm only gonna kill if I have to. But then I looked back at what I did, and outside of the compound, like outside of the Statue of Liberty, I was pretty sneaky boy. But as soon as I got in, I was out of trank darts. So I was like, all right,
Got
well,
murdered.
Let me shoot this TNT box real quick.
That guy is dust.
I accidentally crippled myself with a TNT
Oh, yeah?
box because I was
You
like,
have to.
oh, for some reason, because you could do a lot of things, you could pick up bodies and stuff like that, and I would hide them in the shadows and think that it probably doesn't matter. But
They're not that
Oh.
smart in this game.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I would do it for like immersion, and then but what I wanted to do was after I knocked out some dudes, I try to stack boxes so that I could toss them off the building. And I saw one box and I didn't read what it was. And then I stopped and I was like, wait, this is a different box. Maybe this is like the TNT box. I know those are in this game.
Put
And
it
I was-
down.
I don't know how to
I'll
slowly put
throw
it
to the
down.
ground.
I literally threw it at a wall, blew up my right leg, and I was just out of commission.
So that's another thing that this game has that's a kind of unique, especially in a modern context. It does have, there's like a health point system, but much more important than that, you have health indicators for all of your limbs. So
Mhm.
like right arm, right leg, left leg, torso, and head. And if something hits you in the head, you can die.
Mhm.
Like even if you're at full health, because it's something that hit you in the head.
Yeah,
Which-
if your health goes all the way down on the torso, you're dead. But anything else,
Yeah.
you can keep going.
Yeah.
You just
And
don't
there's-
have any legs.
Yeah, there's penalties on accuracy for your arms, and for your legs, there's move speed. And if both of your legs are crippled, you cannot jump, and you crawl very slowly.
Yeah,
It kind of
that
reminds
happened
me
to
of
me
like
in training.
SOCOM. I don't know if you guys ever
Yeah.
played that SOCOM Navy SEALs game. That game was sick. If you got tagged in the leg and you guys limping the whole way, it was
might
pretty
be a
realistic.
Bushido blade.
Yeah.
Oh,
I think
funny
it's-
story. One of my legs was out, and I was like, "Oh shit, my walk animation's all messed up." And I fixed my leg, and that was just the regular walk animation. I was like, "Oh, that's good." It's always like this.
Oh, I'll just to finish up, I'll say like the decisions I made. 'Cause
Yeah,
I wanted
please.
this to make
I was
note of
gonna
that.
ask you.
Yeah. So, well, after my brother horrified me and asked me what weapon I wanted, I ended up going with was a crossbow with the trank darts. Picked that, and it was definitely really fun. It was once I figured out how the trank darts worked, it was great because I would shoot them and then hide behind a wall and just hear them like whoa, whoa, and then you just hear go. So yeah, I used the crossbow with the trank darts. The next thing that I chose was when you save Gunter, I think was the next choice that you make. There's a guy inside the Statue of Liberty who needs some saving.
Oh, right. How did you get inside the statue?
Oh, I snuck around the back and tranked everyone, which was the bad move because I used all my tranks.
Yeah.
And then, as soon as I got in, I had to use my pistol. I actually killed 2 dudes with a TNT crate because inside of where Gunter's being held, there is like a laser gate that if you hit it, the alarm goes off. And I was like, okay, well, I know that there's 2 dudes there. Maybe I could use this to knock them out. I'm pretty sure they died, but
They were knocked out of existence.
So I saved Gunter and I gave him my gun.
Nice.
But then I found one right outside, so it was perfect. I was like, not too bad. And I thought, back in my head, I was like, another mission pretty cleanly done. And as I'm walking out, I'm walking by all the dead bodies. There's a bunch of knocked out bodies outside, but everyone inside is so dead.
Yeah.
But that's the decision I made there. What was the next one?
Yeah, so when you got to the leader, I feel like most people won't kill him.
I didn't kill him.
You can kill him.
You can?
You physically have to shoot him to death,
There
or you
is
select a
an
dialogue?
option in your conversation with him. You can say, I think the option is like, I'll send you home in a body bag or something.
Yeah, okay. I thought that was just a
if you choose
threat.
that, he'll aggro, and then you can kill him. But you can also just kill him as soon as you get up there.
You could like throw a grenade up there and not even like think about it.
Yeah.
The mission will flag as complete because like
You die.
Yeah. And Manderley will be really upset that you killed the guy. But
I think I wrote down what the things that you say. Yeah. So you tell him, tell me about the shipment, and I'll take you in as a prisoner instead of a corpse. And then he talks. Also,
don't shoot. I surrender.
one of the things I really liked about the game was how corny everything was,
Yeah.
and how
good.
it's very clearly like trying to be serious, but it does so in such a campy way that it's really fun.
the password for one of the terrorist computers is "smash the state."
Yeah.
Amazing.
Oh my god.
All right, Cam, you're up. What you got to tell us? What you
I
think of this
loved
game?
this game. Like, I really didn't think I was gonna like it because I'm not into playing things on PC very much, and I'm a console kitty, and I don't usually go back to old games. Like, I've had more fun now that I have been playing games as soon as they come out. I like being in the loop. I like seeing journalist reactions and like people I know and people I follow online, like see all reacting to the same thing at the same time. Like if I were to go back, I was telling Alex and George the other night, I want to play Nier Automata, but I feel I would enjoy it now less because not everyone's playing it at the same time. I'm a big open world guy. Those are my favorite kinds of games. I like being able to go around, fuck around, do whatever I want. Not that this game is an open world game, but that I was really surprised that they first level just let you do whatever you want, pretty much, and they make you stick with it. Like, I started out after my brother did the Get Out challenge on me and sprinted out of the fog on the dock. Fucking scared the shit out of me. I chose the sniper rifle.
Nice.
And I shot one dude with it, and I was like, absolutely fuck this. Like, aiming down sights and having it go, whoa! Like, that's realistic. I mean, I've never shot a sniper rifle. But it can't be that hard.
I'm not saying I was a trained Navy SEAL at some point, but I mean,
if you level at least to like trained in rifles.
So that was exactly what I figured
better.
I'd do. I was like, okay, I won't use this now because it's annoying to use.
Yeah.
I'm not going to use it. I'll level up my sniping skill and then I'll come back to it. But I didn't realize that you choose that weapon and then you keep it. Like, I mean, I imagine eventually I'd get a sniper rifle or whatever. But
the only thing you can't find in the first level is the Gep gun.
oh, you can just get a sniper rifle?
You can find
Oh,
one.
cool.
There's a guy who's around back where you can climb up the crates to get into the tower. He's like in like a little dark alleyway, and he just has the sniper rifle. So if
Perfect
you
for
kill him, you
sniping.
get it.
Yeah.
Ground floor, dark area.
Yeah, and then there are a couple guys who have the mini crossbow just in the level.
Yeah, I did find them.
Um,
So I bailed on the sniper rifle, and then I chose the crossbow because I was like, it's silent, it has trank darts. I'll be able to trank someone, and then they'll be knocked out. Incorrect. So I chose that.
You're gonna notice a pattern, listeners.
So I chose that, and then I stuck with it because I didn't really remember. I was like, I'm not going to need a heavy ammunitions gun, really. But then I was watching Nick play the other day, and he had that fucking vaporizer rocket launcher thing. I went, wow, this is so fun.
The Gep gun is a good pick.
They undersell that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
They're
if,
like, it's the heavy weapon.
yeah.
No, it's a rocket launcher.
Yeah, even if you are not
It's not.
somebody who wants to use explosive projectiles, it's great for utility.
Yeah.
Because there are some
Yeah, you
doors.
can blow up
that
doors and
there are some doors that you, if like, oh, I don't have any lock picks, or I don't know what the code for this is, and I don't know where to find it. Well, time to use one of my rockets, and the rocket will just nuke the door and whatever was behind it.
And it's really good for bots too.
Oh, yeah, the robots,
Because normal bullets do like no damage to robots.
Mm-hmm.
And like one rocket from the Gep gun will blow up those tiny robots.
Will
Yeah.
people react to you choosing the rocket launcher?
They're like, oh, really?
They won't
First
react
day?
to you choosing the rocket launcher after Paul says it like at the beginning.
He's
like,
got a quip after you pick it.
he's like, are you sure you really? I mean, heavy armor. I guess I understand, and
You
robots,
need that.
but
The line for the sniper rifle is pretty good because he's like, JC's like, I'll take the sniper rifle. Sometimes you want to pick them off at a distance.
Uh-huh.
And then Paul's like, remember, this isn't a training operation. These are real humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, don't use that type of language.
That's what happened when I accidentally killed a lot of people in the mission.
Yeah.
And then, my guy's just like, oh, yeah, it's good to be out here in the
Got 'em all.
field. Good
Yeah.
to not be in a training exercise.
Yeah.
And he's like, you killed a lot of people today. And I was like,
You might
about
want to take a seat.
Yeah, but anyway, so then I went in the fucking front door because I didn't want to. I didn't know I was supposed to be quick saving all the time. Like, that's just how you play this game. Is you
Yeah.
quick save, you try something, it doesn't work, you try something else. So that was fun. Maybe I'll try this, So I was like getting frustrated with dying and having to run around the whole area, like sneak around guys. So I didn't even go to the back where all the crates are and you can just climb up.
Yeah.
I went in the front door.
So you had to like lockpick your way in, or did you use one of the computer terminals?
So the thing about this game is, like, quickly my strategy began, like, brute forcing it, but like, which is not something I usually do. So to get in that door, I waited for the robot to go around the corner. I ran at the security camera, unlocked the door, and went in.
Nice.
Wow. So the turret couldn't shoot me because I was directly under it.
So
So, and I was like, I guess I did it. Like, I made it through the door,
I hate
and the
those
thing
turrets.
can't shoot me.
I was getting
Yeah,
lit
they're
up by those
annoying.
turrets.
Dude.
I was getting lit up by them in the training mission, and you
Oh,
can't
yeah.
die in the training mission. You can only get all your legs blown off, and you have to
Yeah,
crawl
that
around.
happened to me.
Fucking sucked.
The robot was fucking blowing me up, and I had no legs. I'm like down on the ground. I'm like, can you just kill me? Like,
Can you give me a
please,
save
just-
point or like
like,
a robot to heal
oh.
myself? That was really poorly designed, but I mean, this training mission was unnecessary.
Yeah,
But really, that was a bad move on their part. 'Cause,
yeah.
like,
I would rather be able to be
I don't
killed.
know.
why
in
can
training
you
than-
not
remember
die in
training
the
mode
training
at all.
mission? It makes no sense. Just
Yeah.
let me die and let
I
me
think that's
restart.
like we don't want to break the logic of the story. They wouldn't let you die in this training
Then
mission.
put more repair robots in. There are only 2 repair robots.
I mean, you can die in the main game, but canonically,
Yeah.
you don't die.
It's weird.
But the situation
Dark Souls?
is like the training mission is like a thing set up by UNATCO to train JC, so they wouldn't put him in a situation where he would
Yeah,
be killed
that's-
because it would be a waste of money,
It's dumb.
personnel,
It's
everything.
dumb.
I guess.
It's a waste of the billions of dollars it costs to make him.
I just realized something that'd be kind of funny is one of the flavor texts that gets thrown around when you're walking by people in the NATCO base is someone's like, oh, hey, we had, what was
we were in the same class at the academy together.
Yeah. You probably don't remember me. It'd be funny if it was actually the guy that was knocked out in the tutorial.
Yeah.
That
was so funny. They're like, this guy volunteered to be knocked out. It's an honor. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Why did you need a real dude?
You have to loot an unconscious body as
Yeah.
part of the training.
It's like, just put a doll down. Why do you need a real volunteer?
You need a real person.
But anyway, so as I was saying, I became brute force, but in like a weird way. I didn't want to shoot everyone because I figured ammo was kind of limited for the pistol anyway, and the crossbow sucked. So my strategy became using the stun rod on someone.
Yeah.
And they don't. Once you stun rod them, they don't. After they like start to
Shake.
they shake, and then you hit them, and then they don't start to shoot you again. They try and run away to a position where they can shoot you again. So I would stun rod someone and then beat them to death with the baton because they would run away and your walk speed is faster than them. So they'd be like sprinting away and I'm like following behind them, smacking them with the rod because it was non-lethal and it saved ammo. And I wouldn't get hurt much because I'd sneak up behind them and I'd electrocute them. So and it was hilarious. Like I found it so satisfying to just whack everyone with the police rod.
Melee weapons are actually a fun way to play the game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I ended up that was the modification I picked.
About
melee
halfway
damage.
through the game, you get like you basically get a lightsaber.
Yeah.
It's a big plot point, and then it's like people don't bring it up anymore, but you're still carrying around this crazy lightsaber plot point.
And so even if you don't have anything leveled into melee, it just does so much damage that you can just one or two shot people.
I can't wait.
But it makes a noise like a wiffle ball bat when you hit stuff with it. It does not like when you take it out, it goes like it definitely sounds like you're turning on a lightsaber. But when you hit someone with it, it's like.
What if somebody should make a YouTube clip where it's like Anakin is JC and he's about to kill the younglings, and instead of hearing the you hear
Oh my god, I want to talk about something for a second. Quick aside from Cam's thing, the sound effects in this game, like the sound design in this game in general,
So good.
I love it, and I love it genuinely for the most part. But the sound effects, I think, are weird and bad in some ways that I find very endearing.
The swimming is awful.
The swimming is awful. The swimming sound effects.
Yeah.
But one
It's
of the
just
big
like,
things
bloop,
is when you
Yeah.
break a crate, the sound effect that it makes when you break the crate and the pieces that fall to the ground. I'm like, that sounds wrong. And I thought it sounded wrong for years until at work this week I threw an empty plastic water bottle into a milk crate and it made the exact noise that it makes when you break wooden boxes in Deus Ex. And I'm like, I know how they got this now.
Yeah, but I love the game. Like the whole style and feel of it is really fun and endearing. Like you kept saying, George, that they take themselves like it's campy, but they take themselves very seriously at the same time. And I think it's a delicate balance, but they do it really well. That they're like, oh, this is the cool guy, the bionic man, and he's more advanced than all these other guys. And he wears these cool sunglasses. And
Also, your password for your computer is Bionic Man.
yeah, which is funny. But everybody makes fun of him all the time. Like, they don't take him seriously. He's a huge dork. He's like, oh, it's finally not a simulation. They're like, you're killing dudes, dude. Everybody's like, what is up with this guy? He's so weird.
Yeah.
You realize those
looks
people have
hilarious.
families.
Yeah.
All of the dialogue and writing is just
He's always
hilarious.
reminding everyone that they're cops. And like,
it's
but also
just
saying-
such a magic combination of the writing, the voice acting, and the delivery.
it's beautiful. I want a JC Dennis soundboard so bad because everybody makes fun of him because he's ridiculous.
And I honestly can't tell how much of it was intentionally campy and funny.
I was reading an interview where they said that the affect, the weird voice that JC puts on, was because they didn't want him to put a ton of emotion into every line because the player might feel differently about what he's saying than the actor portrays. So if the delivery was more flat, then the player could read into what they want. But how that ends up sounding in the game is like
this guy's an emotionless weirdo.
This guy is a total jackass,
Yeah,
and like who underreacts to emotional moments and
His
overreacts to things that
brother
don't matter.
dies, and he's like,
Well,
sorry.
his brother doesn't have to die, so it's not really a
you can
spoiler.
save it.
Possible
Yeah.
spoilers.
Oh, fuck.
Rip.
There's a couple things you have to do, but it's cool.
I did it by accident my first time, and when I found out that he could die, I'm like, well, I didn't think I did the good thing. How did I save him? And I found out that it's an extremely minor thing that you do that decides whether or not. So, Seb, when he says, at one point, your brother's like, get out of here, I will meet you later. And it normally, up to this point, following Paul's instructions is very useful and very helpful.
Mhm.
Did you listen to him and get out of there?
Yeah, that's when he was like
Yep.
sitting with the kill switch.
That's
Yes.
that
Yeah.
kills him.
If you get out of
Oh,
there,
yeah.
he dies. If you
Yeah.
do not
I
get
mean,
out of there, he will live.
I mean, I assumed he was gonna die when I left. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he's not gonna meet me. He's wrong. He's dead. But I didn't realize that you could stay there.
The pro play is to stay there and then immediately kill yourself because it's a scripted death anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, see, what I did was I got as far as you could possibly
Yeah.
go at that point.
Yep.
Like, I even died, like, earlier and then ended up, like, in the cell. But I was like, no, I have to see how far I
Yeah.
can get. And
you can get pretty fucking far.
yeah, I got past the subway, and then it was, like, Gunter, and he was like, end of the line, hero. And I was like,
This is the end of the line.
He's
Yeah.
like, what a shame.
yeah. And I was
I will not be going with you.
yeah, he was like, you can surrender, or I can, like, fight you. And I was like, so JC's like, well, this is your chance to be a hero. And Gunter's like, good. And then it was just like, I'm like surrounded by robots and like
Yeah.
military guys, and they just all like fucking barrage you with bullets. I'm like, okay, that definitely scripted. There was no way I could possibly get out of that situation.
Yeah.
This sounds like a Red Dead Redemption death.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, I could probably take on
I
these
get
guys
these dudes.
riddled with bullets.
So speaking of Gunter, Cam, did you
Yeah, I'll
save
real
him?
quick
Did you give
go
him
through
a
my
weapon?
last couple things. So I batoned everyone on the first floor of the Statue of Liberty,
nice.
and then I go down and I save Gunter because I actually got halfway up the statue and was like, oh, I was supposed to save someone in the bottom, and I loaded to an old save and I went back down and I saved him. And he's like, give me your gun, and I gave it to him. He's like, I'm gonna get everyone on this floor. I'm like, oh, I got him. I got him all already, actually.
What if when you talk to him later, he's just like, that was horrible. Caved in skulls everywhere.
They were all killed by some monster. Yeah, but so I did that. I played up until the Hell's Kitchen mission.
Yeah.
So
I
you
went to the
got
bar.
the reaction after the first mission. You go to like your office basically, and people talk to you.
Oh
about how
yeah.
the first
All right.
mission went.
So once I got down on the tower, I was really understanding what this game was letting me be able to do. So then I was like testing the limits of people. Like as soon as you enter the lobby of, is it UNATCO?
UNATCO.
Yeah.
Why is it right next to the Statue of Liberty?
That
Where
was
you take the
that's where their whole base is. Yeah.
so weird. Anyway, so yeah, I walk in the lobby and I'm like, oh, I can pick up all this shit. And like the guy's like, the secretary is like, oh yeah, I was in your class, you know. I'm like, yeah, cool. I'm like throwing lamps everywhere, and, like, eating all the food off his desk. He's like, are you serious? And so eventually I throw a potted plant and it lands on his head. And of course he gets up and sprints out of the building. And I'm like, oh, that was weird. And then my brother comes in and guns me down. This absolute superhuman bionic man who is more trained and more experienced than me absolutely obliterates me because I threw a plant at the secretary. It was just really funny to be like, where's that guy going? And then like the guy I'm supposed to be friends with comes in and kills me. But yeah, so then I go in the place, I throw all the plants everywhere, I turn on every sink, I go in my boss's office, I throw an American flag at him, I eat all his food. Like the stuff that they let you do and that the characters react to it. Like that your boss is like, what are you doing? Why are you acting so weird? Like, I've always been like this.
The character
they're-
interactions are amazing. Even
So good.
even JC Denton's reactions, like to when the second mission starts and you're talking to Agent Navarre,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "Yes, we must exterminate these terrorists." And then JC's just like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "What do you,
Yeah.
exterminate? What do you mean by exterminate?" She's like, "Oh, you don't know? You're not with the shits."
Yeah.
That's great.
All your interactions with her are really funny because she's like
She's so
making fun of you. Like in mine, she was, I think, talking about, she made fun of my coat and then was like,
exterminate glasses too.
yeah, makes fun of
Yeah.
your glasses. And then you're like, well, actually, I'm the best trained. And she's like, yeah, well, prove it, you know, blah, blah, blah. So then I
Did
gave,
she remark on anything on how you played the last mission?
I don't think so. I don't
No,
think
she doesn't.
Yeah,
She-
even the boss or the ammunitions guy, I didn't get any really specific.
I think it might be
dialogue.
because did you kill anyone I know you said you batoned most people, but did you end up killing people?
There were 2 guys on the Statue of Liberty standing next to the TNT thing. I threw 2 grenades at them and literally melted them. Like, there were pieces of them all over the
So
place.
it might be because you did a mix of like not
Yeah,
legal
I
and
think
legal
I did
playstyle,
lean
but they didn't
too
have
hard
they
to
didn't
one
have a
side.
line for you one way or the other. Because
Yeah.
my first time playing through the game, this is getting into a little bit of what my experience was like. My first time playing the game, I specialized in heavy weapons, and I'm like, I am going to just go
I am
nuts.
murder
I'm gonna,
man.
I'm gonna have fun.
I must murder.
And I got down, and Paul's like, "Are you fucking serious? You know these are people,
Yeah,
right?
you're
You
not
can
in the
solve
trading
problems with
mission.
this." And then Agent Navarra, who's going to be your partner in the next mission, is like, well, I see that you have something to back all those cybernetics up, and you're willing to do what it takes.
She's like, great job.
Yeah, she's like,
Yeah.
great job murdering everyone, and your brother's kind of disappointed in you. And Gunther was like, yeah, you really proved yourself there.
You
You
really
really
did
proved
it.
yourself there. Giving me a gun and letting me kill all those people. And I'm like, yep, sure did. But then this time playing through, I know where everything is now because I've already played the game. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do this with nobody dying. And I did with a combination of sneaky and tasery and trank darts. And Navarro was like, they said you completed the last mission, but I didn't see you do anything.
Yeah. So you walked up there?
You're soft on the NSF, and I would not have that when you're with me, a real trained agent. So yeah, one of the other things I wanted to ask you, Cam, was how did you do any of the second mission, the Castle Clinton stuff, the Battery Park stuff? On the subway?
Yes, I went down the subway. That one took me a lot of tries because I kept killing all the hostages on it. But mostly it was because I would throw a gas grenade down and they would all stop moving and I'd shoot all those guys and then I'd go down and then you immediately get in a firefight and in between you two. So there's the subway where it's the hostages and the terrorists, and then there's motion sensing bombs in the hallway in between where you are and they are.
Yeah.
So you guys are shooting at each other through all the motion sensing stuff. And like a couple times, I don't know if it was me because the accuracy is so weird or it was them running, like they would run at me through the motion sensing stuff. And I was like, and then so the first time they run through, they blow up everyone and everything in there. Then I get down there and the guy calls you, he's like, those were hostages down there. I'm like, I didn't do anything. They really did it.
Yeah, the terrorists killed me, not me.
Yeah. So, but then I went down there. I'm like, okay, I do want to save the hostages, and so I kind of cheated in that I went down there, saw that there were grates, like and air vents to walk through, and then I followed them out, and then reloaded and went down the
And
road.
find your way back. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did that. I went to the bar and I bought the Area 51 guy drinks to hear him talk
Nice,
about
nice.
Area 51. And JC's not having any of it. I like that. He's like, no, Area 51 is for planes only.
When you go to the bar and talk to that guy, that is actually Jock, who will be your pilot for most of the rest
Yeah,
of the
Jock
game.
is cool.
I liked him.
I like that.
He's a recurring character.
So you
he is
can-
amazing.
Yeah, you can meet him early and talk to him before you meet him because he'll pick you up from the end of that mission.
And I
cool.
hope this isn't revealing too much, but he spoils most of the plot of the entire game if you buy him enough beer.
Just like
He's
real
like, I've been to Area 51, and JC's like, that's great. You sure you want to be
That's
talking
dumb.
to me about this?
Here's another beer. Yeah, but I loved it. It was really fun. Really interesting.
All right,
Cool.
Seb, what's up? How you been enjoying Deus Ex?
I have really enjoyed it. I ended up playing all the way to the beginning of Hong Kong, which is that like about halfway.
That's like
I'd
it's the second.
I'd say the end of Hong Kong is like more or less halfway through.
Okay.
There's some weird padding like towards the very end of the game.
Okay.
But
I actually like those missions.
yeah, a couple of them were fun, but it's kind of just like
Yeah, I'd say that there's
it's a bit of a run around.
The game's broken into 4 like quarters for me.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
have
I'm
you
definitely
have-
done with the
yeah.
first quarter.
you have
Yeah.
East Coast US, then you have Hong Kong, then you have Paris, and then there's like the last quarter's really weird with like you're in a bunch of different places at once. You're going all over the world and you're going all over the world, all over the continental US and to a bunch of secret government bases that like are sort of relevant for the rest of the game, but people only talk about and then you actually go to them later on. It's like what the fuck?
But yeah, like I've really been enjoying it. The combat and the controls are somewhat what I expected of a shooter from 2000.
Yeah.
You actually have some experience with PC games, unlike George had some experience.
Yeah.
I was like 6,
Yeah.
so like
I didn't even have mice back then.
I'm like a mixed
Mouses.
console PC gamer, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Like I'm about half and half. But yeah, it's about what I expected from that era, like in terms of controls, in terms of graphics. But it really impressed me. I know we're all saying like, oh my god, they react to what you do, but like so many modern games do that.
Mhm.
They're like, you're stealing shit, and they're like, what the fuck, man? Like,
For me, it was. I was surprised that they implemented stuff like that early in time. 'Cause
Yeah, that's what
like,
I'm
is
saying,
like
yeah.
a modern game thing, but
Mhm.
it was impressing me that they were doing all these things
Yeah,
so
a
much
lot
further
of
in
well,
advance.
at least in a lot of modern games, I think most of the stuff that other characters react to is like
threatening
yeah,
important choices,
either like
who
pretty,
who
yeah.
lives and who dies.
It's
as opposed-
pretty canned like bad guy cool guy stuff.
Yeah,
At least in this game, there's a little bit more to it than that. I
Yeah.
think
they react to your.
they still have that where they're like, oh wow, you killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
some characters will be like, you killed a lot of people. That's sick.
Yeah.
Actually,
Or they'll be like, what the fuck? Why'd you go in the ladies' bathroom?
Yeah.
yeah, like I went in there and there was a woman in there and she's like, how unprofessional. And then-
Shannon.
And then
Oh,
Manderley,
shit.
you
And
go
she
see
hates
Manderley.
your guts for the rest of the game
Yeah,
because of
she
that.
fucking
'cause-
hates me.
Yeah.
And then like I went to go see Manderley, and he was like, "Oh, and JC, stay out of the women's bathroom. You have to maintain a certain level of
Yeah.
That reflects worse on the company than it does
Yeah.
on you.
yeah." So
I was very no nonsense when I was in there. It
Oh
was-
yeah. you
No,
just
I
went
was
right to
like,
the second
fucking shit
point.
up.
I did throw a couch though.
I
but-
threw everything.
Yeah.
I didn't throw any couches. I didn't throw any potted plants. But I was like, "All right, though, let's get in this computer."
Yeah, I love logging into other people's computers. You guys are like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Imagine seeing
Read
that
all
in
their
real
emails.
life. A dude in a big ass trench coat and sunglasses just looking through your computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While you're sitting at
Yeah.
your desk, you don't walk in.
Yeah,
on
I
the-
tried to do that with
I'm
the.
Jason Denton, I'm hacking in.
Yeah, I tried to do that with the receptionist guy's desk, and he
Uh-huh.
was like, "What are you doing?" Like he's like, "Seriously?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, "I can't even get in here, so whatever."
I know, like, and even if you're logging in on someone else's computer, you're logging into your own account
Yeah.
on their computer.
Unless
You
you
don't
have
have to.
hacking, then
Yeah,
you can
if
get
you,
Oh, I
yeah,
never
if
hacked
you level
those.
computers up to train, so the 1st
Mhm.
tier, you can hack computer terminals, and so you can read the emails that are stored on that computer specifically.
Uh-huh. Huh.
So you get a couple fun bits of
Yeah.
flavor text, and if you find other people's logins, you can check them throughout the game to get some interesting stuff.
So I have a few like notes about kind of things that happened in the game. I can't seem to remember what I meant by 1125 and 2577. So I've got like Flatlander woman.
I absolutely know what that one means.
I actually didn't find the woman part, so I had to actually fight Anna Navarra. So that was like a pain in the ass because she turned invisible on me.
I've never fought in Navarre. I've almost okay. So there is a part later in the game. This is sort of a spoiler where you do have to fight the mechanized people that you're partnered with at one point in the game. Anna Navarra and Gunter Hermann. But those are old models, and they were built in case they went rogue because they were so very powerful at the time, with kill phrases that would detonate a bomb inside them immediately. The
That's
kill
hilarious.
phrase is not stored in any one place. You have to look really hard to find both pieces of each person's kill phrase.
I didn't have to look very hard to get Flatlander.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember where
That
they
was
were.
on Jay Manderley's
That was
computer.
on Manderley. I
Yeah.
think actually
It's right
Alex
on his
Jacobson
desk.
has the other one, right?
To
I
get
thought it was on
Gunter
computer.
Hermann's kill phrase, you have to tell Jaime Reyes to stay behind.
Oh no,
And then
I told him to
yeah.
come with me.
He will meet back up with you later in the game.
Ah,
You get something else if you tell him to come with you.
okay.
What
I
He'll-
figured, I was like, I can
think
use a
he'll,
medic.
he'll give you medical stuff
Yeah.
like throughout the game if you have him with you.
That does
Yeah.
sound useful.
So it's kind of an
Yeah.
either or
Yeah.
thing.
Well, it's not like you can't just kill him by putting a bunch of mines on the wall and letting him walk into it.
Yeah.
like how
Just as good as the word, right?
yeah, it's just as good as the kill phrase.
What do all these mines read out? Oh no!
Hey, I put your kill phrase on these mines on the wall.
But
Quick question. What did you pick at the start? Like, of the 3 choices that he gives you, Statue of Liberty, do you remember what you
I
picked?
picked the sniper rifle
Nice.
because I figured Okay, yeah.
sometimes you need to pick them up.
Yeah,
and
I like the
Yeah,
shoot
because sometimes I like to pick them up. But then there wasn't any sniper ammo for
Yeah.
like 2 levels, and I was fucking angry.
You gotta
And I
kinda-
actually wrote in like all caps on my notes, "Where is the sniper rifle ammo?"
Yeah.
Because I
There's
was
a
real
bunch
mad
on the
about it.
roof in one of the.
You got to kind of track down the people who have the sniper rifles.
Yeah.
And then they usually have some 30 outside.
Yeah, I mowed down pretty much everybody on Liberty Island though, so
Yeah.
there was like none there.
I know there's at least one sniper in the Hell's Kitchen section,
Okay.
but even
Absolutely.
that it's sparse until you get to the mid game.
Yeah, I've got plenty of it now.
Yeah.
But then I kind of like switched to the pistol, and I very quickly realized that the tranquilizer darts like did not work fast enough for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't do that. I didn't do
It-
any non-lethal really.
Mhm.
Like I tried the prod charger, and I couldn't figure out like I have to hold that for a little bit
Yeah.
to
It
make
was
them like.
weird, yeah.
I
I thought I was wasting ammo when I did that. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
there are
I think it
charges
only
on
wastes
it.
the ammo if you click a couple times.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, I pretty much killed everybody until I got to where I was trying to escape from UNATCO.
Mhm.
Because I was like, oh shit, like what if they're still kind of the good guys and I just gotta clear it up or whatever.
Yeah.
Or I worked with these guys,
So there was an option that there are still dialogue options recorded for in the game, but they just couldn't program it in, where you could choose to say no to your brother and stay with UNATCO,
yeah.
and
That's
presumably
weird.
you'd go on the same missions and just fight on the other side, which would
Yeah.
be cool.
I mean, like,
but it was like too much work and they couldn't put
Yeah.
it in,
Yeah,
which
it's
is
like
like
a whole other
makes
story.
sense because the game is gigantic as is.
Yeah. I mean, especially for the time period.
Oh, absolutely.
And like my whole thing was like, you really like switch over to his side really fast. You don't need much convincing. He is your brother, but you don't seem to have much of a bond there. It's just like, hey,
Okay.
it's
the
you,
same
Paul.
But if you take
Yeah.
okay, look at the things that UNATCO is doing in like the first 3 missions that you are with them.
Yeah.
The first
and like
mission.
it
Yeah.
doesn't take a whole lot to see like, oh, am I working for people
Are we
that
the
might not
bad
be
guys?
entirely morally good?
Yeah.
Like it's like Cam said, JC has to keep reminding people they're police. That's because they come in black coats, murder everybody, and leave. It's
And
like
then get paid for it.
and then get paid for it. And the person in the first mission is like, oh, I sent the cure for this horrible disease back to the people, and one of your options is to murder him.
Yeah.
Like he's just trying to make sure like
Bureaucrats deserve that.
Yeah, children
Yeah.
don't die of the plague instead of like a senator or whatever. And your job is to murder him.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
did
as a
re-
player, you see that, but JC is like brainwashed.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, there is some interesting, especially towards the very end of the game, you get some interesting flavor text about JC and about Paul. So definitely, if you continue to play the game, definitely look for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I did realize pretty quickly. I didn't know that you like eventually switched sides, but I realized something was up when after you capture the terrorist leader, and then the other guys come up. They're like, yeah, we cleared out the rest of the island. Everyone's dead. Voted
Not
down
all,
pretty
dude.
easy.
You missed a couple back there.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
shot them for you.
I completely non-lethaled when you so there's the NSF headquarters in Hell's Kitchen
Yeah.
and the warehouse, and then you take that over with UNATCO, and then you fire or like send out the distress signal,
Yeah.
and then Walton Simmons is like, wow, what
It's
an
gotta be Simons,
expense.
right? It's Walton
Simons,
Simons.
yeah, it's Simons. It's just Walton Simons just
Yeah.
sounds like really
Sounds
like all the
dumb.
names in here sound like they were like
Oh, there are
Japanese
some- there
people
are some
trying to
dumb
name
names.
like
Except for
American people.
JC Denton, which is
I
really
hate that.
cool.
No.
Cool name.
Such a cool name.
Another thing, why did they give them 2 code names that like have the same last name?
Because they're brothers.
No, that is so
Unfortunately,
not
it's
undercover.
They do go into it like slightly in some things at the end of the game, but
Yeah.
honestly, it doesn't make up for how silly
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Well, no, because like James Bond's brother's Jonathan Bond.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
008.
And there's stepbrother Dale Bond.
Favorite
Yeah.
Bond.
And I get that they all kind of dress the same anyway, but it is kind of funny to imagine that like JC and Paul
I know.
dress the exact same.
They were like, oh, you're
Except
Paul's
Paul
brother.
doesn't
How
have
could you
the-
tell?
I don't even know that.
But yeah, so Walton Simons is like, what an expensive mistake you turned out to be.
Yeah.
Love that line.
Yeah, I like when that like came on, like even though the voice acting is like it kind
Yeah.
of gave me chills, like, oh fuck, I fucked up. But then I like non-lethaled everybody there, and then I cleared the UNATCO base non-lethal until I got to Ana Navarra. I think I killed... No, I didn't even kill Mandrelli. Yeah, I
love
zapped
that they
him.
the option to kill.
Oh, you
Mandrelli.
can kill him that early?
No, it was
He's not a
This
big
is
player
this
from
is
it?
about a couple missions in after
Like a
some
third
story
in.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
this is like 3 missions from where you are.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that, but like right as
It
you
seems like
find out that they're against you, then or you
yeah,
decide
yeah.
you can just kill him.
kind of, in the grand scheme of things, he's kind of just a pawn.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
I thought he
totally
was more
inconsequential. And
Yeah.
Walton Simons will bring him up later and be like, I can't believe
That
I let
character.
that sniveling coward Mandrelli in charge of you.
His
Yeah.
his
Candy
password
bars
for
on
his
his bathroom
computer
sink.
is
Yeah.
Night Killer. I'm like, what do
God.
you do, you business suit?
Yeah.
But
Fucking
Did-
haircut.
did you guys how many of you guys killed the guy on the plane, whatever his name was?
Oh, yeah, that's another fun decision.
I did not kill him,
I didn't
and
kill him.
Ana Navarra killed him
Wait.
because
Yeah.
I did
But
not.
he's driving the
I was
plane.
real
What do
mad.
you mean?
I was like, I mean, I could have killed him, but what if I just
Yeah.
left him alive and
That's,
then we could interrogate him? And Ana
I think
Navarra's just like,
that's
I'm gonna kill him anyway.
one of the missions right after you do the
Oh, yeah.
work stuff.
Yeah,
It's-
that's where
that's a
you're
that's a
supposed
good
to get to. I think.
that's a good moment.
I really
so when
felt-
you guys get to that, I'd like to hear your
Yeah,
impressions. If you continue.
And I'm not going to like spoil the whole moment
Yeah.
because that was one thing where like I was doing what I felt was morally right by not killing him, but they made me feel really bad for letting him live. Like I was like in a situation where like I'm like, oh, was that like it was like okay. I'm going to shit on Mass Effect for a second here. Mass Effect's moral choices are terrible.
Yeah.
They're absolutely terrible, and there's like almost nothing good about them.
It's just about being mean or
Yeah.
not, really.
And there is no
Yeah,
time
are you
where
a bad boy or
picking
cool dude?
where I
Yeah.
picked being a bad boy that I felt bad for it. There's no time when I picked being a good boy that I felt like really good for it. Like the character writing is kind of nice, and I like being nice to those characters because I enjoy it when they are happy. But I don't ever feel like it never made me feel an emotion as if I was in the game, you know? Whereas, like, this is one of the only times I can think of where picking the clearly right, morally right decision in a game still made me feel bad. I'm like, oh, maybe just because you do a good thing doesn't mean everybody's happy with you. And it's like, that's kind of fun. It's fun that a game is actually making you think about that.
That was the moment where I realized like how much choice you actually had in the game, even though they're gonna keep you on one path.
Yeah.
Like a similar
it
path.
doesn't.
It
It
still
doesn't
affects the
actually.
writing.
It doesn't actually split the narrative, but
Yeah.
there are so many different things you can do. Even when you replay the game, you can decide to do or decide not to do things, and get entirely different dialogue and reactions from everyone.
And that's the thing. Like, also, if you've only played the game once, you can just think, oh, well, that's how the game had to go, and then you find out later, like, what the fuck? I could have done that differently. Like, like finding out that Paul could die was really weird to me because I felt like he was so important to the rest of the game.
That's how I felt like when I just found out that Paul didn't have to die.
Yeah.
I was like, it's the kill switch. He's dead. This whatever. Like I can't do anything about it. Bye. I didn't know. But then once I was escaping from there and I figured out that like you could get farther. You could either get like as far as they let you or just get killed on the spot and just go to the cell. Like that's like a lot more like choice, air quotes, than I thought the game would have.
Yeah.
That's all set?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to make mine quick. I had already played this game a couple years ago, and I had a blast. Just some quick things about my first playthrough. My first playthrough, I picked the Gep gun, which is like the rocket launcher that they offer you on the first choice. It is the only thing I didn't know this at the time. I picked it because I'm like, I think it would be fun to have a rocket launcher, and when they give you your points to choose what you want to specialize in the beginning, the 3 things that I chose, they give you points in pistol automatically. I took those away and I put them onto heavy weapons, and then I also put points in lockpicking and computers.
I didn't realize I was supposed to be doing that. I didn't move my points around at all.
Oh.
Oh yeah, you definitely should be.
Yeah, I was doing that.
And you probably have now that since you weren't really doing it, you probably have loads of points now.
All my
As
points
soon as
are
they
in
tell you when you get
platonic.
points,
You can allocate them at the beginning, and then as you earn them, you can
do it at any time.
You can even save them at the beginning and do them when you decide on it.
I'll do that when I get
Yeah,
it.
there's no-
I'm gonna probably put them more towards rifles because you told me that it helps shotguns and
Yeah,
snipers.
rifles is shotguns, assault rifles, and snipers.
It's like
which
all
is
mid-sized
Guns.
guns.
Yeah.
that's easy mode if you level that, but it's good. It's really good.
It's still fun.
Yeah.
Like actually
Oh, yeah.
playing this game like a shooter, it feels like busted. Like it's like they don't expect anyone to just kill everyone. They're like, surely you would find some other way to
The
solve
enemy
some
AI
problem.
Nah.
is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
that they sprint everywhere and like no one will just shoot you. They have to get to like a cool position and
Yeah.
then shoot you. Like it's so funny.
They'll run into a wall for 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Something that did surprise me though is when I was trying to sneak up on some dudes and I hit him with a trank dart. The dude who I didn't see him. He should have been able to see me. So I run and I'm like, he tranked your bud. Well, I didn't know that he had a bud. I tranked the guy, I'm running away, and I turn around and there's two dudes chasing me. I was like, whoa. But luckily, pulled out the burner and he got caught with the clips real quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I chose the rocket launcher the first time through, and I had a blast with it. I was like,
Nice.
oh my god, I am having so much fun with this game. I don't want this first mission to end because I had there's just so much I want to do. I went to. It doesn't sound like anybody here went to the docks and got like the photo of how
Yeah.
there's one of the things they give you on your intel for the first mission is they're like, oh hey, there's this homeless guy who has some intel on the terrorists and how you might be able to get in.
Oh,
You could get like a yeah.
Oh, I just
there's
another
another
dock.
dock.
There's another
that's-
dock.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
It's kind of by where you get up with the boxes.
Yeah.
There's like a friendly bot running around over there, and then there's another dock you can get.
Oh,
over.
that bot's friendly. I
Yeah.
avoided that thing.
Yeah.
Like the plague.
I
Yeah.
got intel from the kid after I fed him. That
Yeah,
was
that's-
secret
that's-
interest.
That's the
That's
second
the
level.
that's-
I have that password written down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't use it though.
So I went and I got the intel from him. I got in that way. I didn't even know about the back way. I was like, oh, well, Paul knows what he's doing. I'm going to listen to him. Well, I didn't listen to him about not killing anybody. I absolutely killed them.
Got
Because I found somebody with the trank darts, and I'm like, oh, I'll give him a shot. And I was like, well, this is clearly not worth my time. So I was like, I'll just kill people because that seems like more fun. And it absolutely was. Let me tell you, when you spend a ton of time scouring Liberty Island, you can find a lot of explosives.
Yeah.
And I had
Yeah.
some points in explosives, so I decided that
What does
maybe
that make you? It makes your bobs better? What does that even mean?
it's like you
Makes your boom
can
bigger.
you can place them on walls, you can do remote
Yeah.
detonations, you can do
Okay,
like
that's
different
cool.
stuff with them, and some you just get more damage out of.
Yeah, I forgot you're a robot and you can remote detonate. So.
Yeah, and so it was a pile of smoldering corpses after my first time through, and Paul was not happy about that. I did leave the terrorist leader alive. Like anytime dialogue was giving me choice, I'm like, well, I don't want them to die.
Yeah, they seem to lean into you not wanting the player to kill him because
Yeah.
even when you go up there, the dialogue options
Don't
are,
shoot, I surrender.
Yeah, you can either
That guy's
say,
dialogue is burned into my brain.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
say either like, "I'll send you back in a body bag," or you can say, "Tell me," or "I'll send you back in a
Yeah.
body bag." Like
Yeah.
the options are basically the same, but one tells you that you'll get information out of it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah, that
One
definitely leans
option
find
toward
it-
has a benefit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I find it hard to believe that anyone would just go up there and be like, "I'm going to murder you now." Like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
seems weird.
Yeah. And I played through the game with a specialization in heavy weapons and I basically didn't level anything in combat. Like I had no gun skills. Anytime I needed to shoot a bullet at somebody, I was screwed.
Perfect weapon.
No gun skills.
The bionic man.
So the things the things I put points in were in this order. I had lockpicking and computers, which meant I could get into anywhere and get any information I needed. That meant I could do a lot of things non-lethally, even if I wasn't necessarily trying to. People would die if they got in my way. I put points in explosives. I used them more as utilities than as weapons. I would absolutely...
It's so worth it to use like all the landmines you pick up for opening doors or doing other random
Mhm.
bullshit.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, I can't pick the lock on this door. Better blow it up. And I would do that. I did that so many times.
Real quick, do you go back to UNATCO a lot? Because there's so many
There are a
doors that I
couple
couldn't
times.
get in.
Yeah,
you go
at
back.
first.
Cool. That's what I assumed.
There should be,
Yeah.
I think, 3
Yes.
times you go
All
back
right,
there.
cool.
Yeah, and one time you're a prisoner. So.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Uh,
Crazy.
And then the
I
other
can't.
thing that so everything else that I leveled was like an immersion skill. It wasn't like a combat skill. And
Mhm.
Cam got so mad when I told him this, but I leveled swimming the first time I played because I'm like, I think it would be funny if I leveled swimming, and then it came in handy so many fucking
Best.
times.
Yeah.
Swimming,
through the course of the
swimming
game.
is also the cheapest skill in the game.
Yes, it does
Uh,
not
A
cost as many
billion
skill
dollar
points.
robotic man machine is the best at swimming and
Yeah.
explosives.
He's not really a robot. He's got like the nanite thing.
Yeah.
Well, he's like the
Neuro
new
thingies.
He's the new
augmented-
model.
Yeah.
He's the most advanced, and I
Yeah,
love
while
that.
the
Like,
other ones are robot people.
Yeah.
mhm. And that's something that this game digs into that I think
I
is
like
actually
that,
really
that
fun.
everyone,
It's like,
they resent you so
yeah.
much.
It's like, oh, you're the newer model. So the people that you're working with, they're older, like cyborgs, and their parts don't work as well, and they're not as like cool
And
and
they
efficient
threw
as
their
yours.
whole life away to
Yeah, they
become
threw
that,
their-
and now
yeah.
it's not cool anymore.
Yeah, they can't go back, and because those parts are like ingrained in their body, they can't be
It's like
upgraded in
people
the
who
same
chase
way that
trends.
you are.
Yeah. There's
Um,
some flavor text about that, like in I think one of the newspapers, and it talks about how like so many people with mechanical augs are like worrying about becoming obsolete, like, but then it's like, oh, but nanites neuro augmentation isn't gonna be like a thing for like many years. It's
And
just
it's
in
like
the test
you
phases.
are running around with that in your body,
Yeah,
and you
but
know it
there's
works.
only literally 2 people who do it, and they're like military.
And
like,
your
There's-
boss
there's
also
a-
tells
experiment.
you.
There's 2
Yeah.
more later on.
Yeah.
Your boss
and
also.
they are amazing.
Your
Okay.
boss also tells you, he's like, yeah, that tech you got in you is like rolling out pretty soon, or not.
Yeah.
It was the,
Yeah.
the doctor.
And
I think.
Jacobson goes
Yeah.
like, that will be pretty widespread soon, so you'll be able to pick it up from canisters
Yeah,
around.
they
like
are
they have.
canisters and stuff.
If you ever
Yeah.
see a vending machine, just punch in a couple bucks.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I solved the game in a very non-traditional way. I didn't do a whole lot of fighting people, but when I did, I was like in trouble because I couldn't hit anyone with the bullets from a gun. I would rely on crowbars and
so
swords
wild.
to solve problems,
Yeah.
to solve combat problems. And a lot of the times I would just use explosives, but I had a blast with that game. It rocketed up to one of my favorite games ever.
I really
there
like
are-
this,
And like it's corny, but its corniness hides like some actual really fun ideas and
Yeah.
philosophies.
This-
Like there's like genuine musings on like, well, what does it mean to like what does it mean to be the latest model of human? Like, are you better than another person who can't do these things? Or like, is it fair to make someone obsolete by building a person that's essentially better than them?
Yeah.
And are you commodifying that, or is it commercializing?
Yeah, this is definitely a game that can spout cheesy action movie one-liners and then in the same breath quote philosophers and not feel out of place doing either.
Yeah.
And I think that is some an absolute masterful,
Yeah, I don't get it.
probably
That's so
accidental achievement.
It's great.
There are 2 conversations in the game that I want to talk about. One that Seb might have gotten to, and one that I
Yeah.
think only Alex will have heard of.
Okay.
One conversation is you go to Hong Kong, as
Uh-huh.
Seb said, and there is a guy at a bar, and this
I haven't
guy,
gotten out of the base in Hong
okay,
Kong.
this guy has an Australian accent.
Nice.
He is the bartender at this bar in Hong Kong with an Australian accent, and I believe he's black, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
so he's a black guy with an Australian accent.
He's
in China.
Aboriginal.
But he has like some of the most like well thought out dialogue on what it means to like what the purpose of think tanks are in modern society, and like what a bunch of smart people getting together to like put together ideas, whether that means anything or whether they're just going to come up with ideas that only suit them and like only means something. Like, oh, Elon Musk is going to spend all his money building a cyborg dragon because he wants to, but you know, millions of people are starving to death and he could help all of them with 10% of his money that he's ever made. And like they talk about that sort of thing, but it's a black guy in Hong Kong with an Australian accent behind the bar, and J.C. Denton, who talks like this the entire time. It's like, are you sure that's the best way to run our country's government? And this is an optional thing. You do not have to talk to this guy at all. There's nothing that funnels you towards him.
Yeah.
He's in an area that's part of a level that's important, but like right next to him is a sailor that's on shore leave, and if you talk to him, he says, "I spill my drink."
that shows up. So if you go onto the menu and go into the sound
Yeah.
selection, it does that.
Yeah,
That's the sample that
Yeah,
That's
it
the
goes,
sound sample they use to test your
I
volume.
spill my drink.
So, and the other conversation that like blows my mind with how good it is, and makes me kind of sweat about how relevant it is now, is there is a point in the game where you go to someone really smart who's on your side, which is the first time that this has happened. Like all the crazy
Everyone else on
Yeah.
his side is dumb.
And all the people who are smart are extremely evil. So you meet someone who is like your base becomes their house for a bit, like or their house is your base.
Yeah.
And so he's like, feel free to walk around. I've got stuff. You can like go around and touch all his stuff. And behind a hidden wall is a project that he worked on that is like a little side thing that he doesn't care about anymore. And it's an AI called Morpheus. And if you talk to it, it goes, okay, your name is J.C. Denton. You don't have any parents. your brother is Paul. You worked for UNATCO, but now you don't. You've been to these locations, and then JC's like, stop. How do you know all this stuff about me? And it's like, well, I just pulled the information from every computer, every camera, and every like nanite that's ever been in your body, and every project file that's ever mentioned your name. And he's like, okay, why do you know all this information? It's like, oh, well, as an AI, I was originally meant to be put into a theme park to tell people interesting facts about themselves. And you're like, wait, what? So the purpose of this crazy thing that knows everything about everyone was just to amuse people in the front of a theme park. And then the AI goes, yes, well, the sensation that people need to be known and understood used to be fulfilled by God, but now it can be fulfilled by data mining AIs. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Have you heard of the Church of Google?
I have, and it's creepy. And the thing that I like,
it's not real, but
I get the idea.
I haven't heard of it. What is this?
Oh, it's it's been around for a little while. It's just like a little website online that establishes that Google is actually God because it knows so much. It knows everything on the internet, so it is essentially a god.
Well, I mean, yeah, that is one of the main themes of this game.
Yeah.
Because Deus Ex literally means a Deus Ex Machina is a god from the machine.
Yeah.
And it tackles a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, well, in the same breath, like, as we were saying, being cheesy as all hell, like, okay, right next to that optional conversation that you have to work really hard to get to that talks about, like, what all the data mining means in the future and the robots and information and all that, and commodification and commercialization. Right next to that is the frozen Walt Disney
frozen leader of the Illuminati.
This guy that you're working with is keeping in his house, and if you talk to him, he's like, I'm so cold. I spilled my drink.
Real quick before you move on, we talked about this earlier, and you had said that the robot or the AI says that like people are okay with the like commercialization of their own information as long as it's for entertainment and not used for like evil in quotes purposes.
Yeah.
And like that immediately it's such a true thing because it immediately makes me think of like my laptop has all my credit card shit, all my passwords are the same, like all that stuff is like it's just easier that way. Like I don't care because
it's convenience.
I'm choosing that, it's just like, oh, I don't care. But
yeah, and like there's all these old books and like stories where people are like, "You're wrong. Humans will never give up what makes themselves real just to be slaves to a corporation or a computer." And I'm like reading these like 1950s science fiction stories, like, oh no,
oh no, shame.
So for this show, I know I talked a little bit long already, but I played the PS2 version to see what the differences would be. It was like $10, and I feel like if you played this game as a kid and you had never played the original, this could still be your favorite game of all time. Because a lot of the core of what makes Deus Ex fun is still there. All the choice is still there. All the like decisions you make about like how to play the game and doing things non-lethally or picking the guns or putting your points in certain things. Like I jumped up the back of the statue. I never talked to Gunter. I never saved him. He was mad at me. The bum that you can talk to for information was mad at me because he's like, why was I standing around if nobody would talk to me? And like I was just fell right back in love with it. But I'm like, this feels weird. I don't remember where everything is, and that's because to fit the game on the PS2, like when on the PC they didn't have to worry about loading anything. Like the maps can be as big as they want because the textures aren't super taxing, and they don't have to put loading screens in a whole lot of places. But on the PS2, to fit it all on the disc, you have like every time you walk into an even slightly new area, they have to put a loading screen in there.
They did some weird shit to get around that too.
Yeah.
Like everything's crammed closer together, it seemed.
Yes. Everything's crammed closer together. So some areas that are super wide before are like kind of narrow, which actually makes combat a little weird.
The Liberty Island, like the base area, I didn't like how wide open it was. Like to get to
it took a long time.
So long. That's why I just went in the front door because I didn't want to walk all the way around the fucking thing.
You didn't have to if you jumped off the crates.
Oh, aren't those in the back?
Yeah, they are in the back.
Oh, so I got to them like immediately. Maybe I just went the wrong way.
Yeah, you could have been going around the other way.
Yeah.
Cam might have been going around.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get to the crates in the back, mainly because I was trying to be sneaky, and then like I was also trying to sleep everyone. So I had a hard time when I saw in the distance there was a group of 3 people talking to each other, and I was like, I got 3 darts, I can do it.
You cannot.
So the other thing about the PS2 version, control scheme is bonkers because there are way too many buttons to fit onto one controller. So they have like hold menus that you can use to cycle through your AUGs or your abilities. And that's weird.
Yeah.
And like,
I mean, Deus Ex on PC has almost every key on your fucking keyboard down.
So ridiculous.
You got all the F12, F1, F5.
Scope in his
F6.
right bracket.
Yeah.
What?
What I hated about, since I'm playing this on Steam, pressing F12 automatic.
Oh,
like,
it takes a screenshot.
I took
yeah.
a billion.
I have about 40 dark screenshots.
Oh yeah.
yeah, and every time I close out the game, it's like 224 screenshots. Would you like to upload these?
Yes.
I'm like, fucking no.
Thank God for the select all delete
Yeah.
feature.
Yeah.
I took 38 screenshots the last time I played.
I did not check how many. I probably have a lot too. Did not check.
I love this game. PS2 version is not great. If you have any other way to play the game, don't play the PS2 version.
If you have literally
But-
90 cents on
90 cents.
Steam.
If it was the only thing if the only possible way you could play this game, then the PS2 version is fine, and I do recommend it. But otherwise, this game is cheap. It is $5 at its most expensive, and at its least expensive, it is under $1. Play this game, bind the keys how you want. Sit down on a dark night because most missions are at night, and just just grab a beer or a 40, I guess, if you're in this game.
Oh, you gotta smash like
all the
40s.
consumable items are 40s.
Take
Grab
30, 40s.
Grab
to
a
the
beer and
PS2.
just lose yourself into this game. I cannot recommend it enough, and I have a blast with it. There's nothing like it. Even the sequels are not really the same in the way that this game is. Sequels are a little more earnest, and that probably makes them work for some people better, but I love how corny this one is.
So wacky.
Alex, any final thoughts on this before we go to set for next week?
Yeah, so the reason I picked this game is because it's a bit of a hard sell to say, hey, play this terrible looking game that
Looks like shit.
that controls
The story's dumb.
blocking
The
from
character's
the year
dumb.
2000. It does some cool stuff. So I think that it's something that a lot of people would like, but definitely wouldn't go try. And I think that that's one of the better things about doing this podcast, is that that kind of stuff gets more exposure.
I would say it's one of the only good things about doing this podcast.
Yeah, but this game is one of my absolute favorite games ever, and I always have a blast going through all of it. I've played this game, I'd say probably 4 times now, and every time I find something that I've never seen before, or read something that I was like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of flavor text, there's a lot of alternate dialogue.
There's a lot of secret hidden areas that don't mean anything, that are there for no reason. There's
And,
like little alcoves with like rocket launcher ammo that don't contain a rocket launcher, so if you don't have the rocket launcher, then that alcove means nothing to you, but you could go there anyway.
Some vents that you find after you killed everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure did.
One thing I do really like about this game is kind of the emergent situations, and some of you guys definitely described some things that I would call emergent gameplay. But one of my favorites is the Vandenberg, or not the air base that you go to from New York. You go through the sewers to get there. There is a gate that you were supposed to open by getting a nano key. You can just gather every box in the level and stack it up and jump over the gate. And that is how I do
What
it
a super spy
every
would do.
single time. I do it that way. And you can actually, if you do it that way, you can get up on the wall and you can go out of bounds.
Oh my god.
And instead of like there being a kill plane there, you could just walk around and explore. And the developers put stairs there so you could get back.
Wow.
Nice.
That's the kind of stuff that makes this game special, I think.
Speaking of, I didn't bring up glitches, but in my first playthrough, I discovered one by accident, which led me to do more research and eventually use more. I was playing with a mouse, of course, because I'm not a monster and using a trackpad.
No, I didn't use the track.
No,
Don't all look at me.
No,
So
I'm
you
not
guys know,
making
I
the-
looked at Ken with disgust.
But I bound pick up item to the scroll wheel because I'm like, there's a lot of items on the ground. It'd be nice to just roll the mouse wheel and pick them all up. And I found out that if you do that with one item, it registers that item multiple times.
Oh my god.
And I found an easy way to duplicate items super
So
early on.
easy.
Yeah, yeah. So
There's a lot of stuff like
biocells and medical kits. I was like, okay, well, I never have to worry about running out of health or augmentation energy ever again.
So would you just have to keep scrolling?
And you drop it, and you drop like 2 on top of each other, and then you roll the mouse wheel, and it'll pick up like 5.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so because you have 5 now, you can just keep
drop
doing that.
5
Yeah.
and then you pick
There's
up 10.
there's a couple glitches like that where once you know how to do them, you play the game wrong forever.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not worth like showing someone who's playing through the first time, like, oh, do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's so funny that it's that easy.
Yeah, there's a moon jump one that's really easy to do.
Yeah.
That's I
There's
found
a
out.
moon
Put all
jump,
the points in the moon jump.
there's a lock picking one that is really easy. Just a little one other bit about emergent gameplay. I think that it's like a really fun thing to do when you find something and you're like, they can't have thought that, like, they can't have predicted that someone did this. And then, like, something leads you to, like, believe, like, oh, wow, this is actually, like, you feel so clever for figuring out. And then you realize, oh, wow,
Yeah,
like, the
some other
developers
playtester,
must
yeah.
have coded this because there's dialogue for it.
Yeah.
Or there's something like that.
Like
And,
going in the women's room.
Yeah.
there's another quote from one of the lead designers on this game where they said that it was a game about not showing how cool we were as developers making this game, to put the power in the hands of the players and let them do what they want with what we gave them, which is cool.
So before we close up the episode with Seb's talking about next week, I did want to say our continuing segment of, hey, if you liked this, you might like some other things. So things that are like Deus Ex, PC games that are emergent sims or immersive sims, like Alex described before. So that's the first couple of Thief games also fit that. So Thief, the System Shock games.
Thief 1 and 2, I'd recommend System Shock 2. System Shock 1 is hard to play. If you want something more modern, I think that the reboot prequel series, both Deus Ex Human Revolution
Soft C-boot.
and Mankind Divided are worth playing. Prey from last year was phenomenal.
I should play that.
I've watched the
You should
playthrough.
pray that.
I should create that game.
It is it's basically System Shock
Breakthrough,
3 in all but the name, and that game takes a lot of what it's a little bit different than Deus Ex because it's more reminiscent of System Shock, but it does a lot of the stuff that is cool about this game.
Also, moving a bit in the other direction, the last game I played that made me feel the same way that Deus Ex did was Fallout New Vegas.
Yep.
I was
Which
Yeah.
Vegas is another good one.
If you, for a more like modern shooter, you probably just play.
And if you thought that Deus Ex wasn't buggy enough, you're gonna love New Vegas.
I mean, it's Bethesda. What are you
It
gonna
is,
do?
well, it's not.
Yeah, it's Obsidian.
It's
Yeah.
Obsidian.
But-
It's Obsidian
Well,
working
they
on
use the engine, so
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah, they did
Oh.
use Cambrio. So, but that game also is the same kind of way of like, oh, they can't possibly have thought that I would do this, and they absolutely have something planned for it.
and that's another game where you can build your character a specific way, and it's really conducive for role playing.
Yeah.
And all of the side quests have like very minuscule options for like very specific upgrades, character traits, and builds.
Last time I played through New Vegas, I played as a 30 under 30 charismatic nerd billionaire kind of guy. So I did like all points in charisma and science, and I had a lot of fun doing that.
Yeah.
And Alex told me once that he was playing through the game as a retired golfer, and that is the only some games you can do that. You can't play Mass Effect as a retired golfer. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much.
I always
Walk
play those
around with a
games.
golf club, hit people with it, and I had a companion that wore a cardigan and carried all my shit.
I always play those games, especially New Vegas, just like as a cowboy. It was,
Yeah.
like,
Oh, yeah.
always gonna
That-
have
yeah.
a cool
They really
system.
encourage that
Sounds
one.
like Red Dead Redemption is your game.
No, because
it
there's
was gonna
no
be
role
Fallout.
playing in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
but you can be a cowboy.
Oh yeah, but I want to choose that.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if they
Yeah,
forced
I
you
don't-
into a
I don't
cowboy,
want the
you don't want to
man
be
to
that
make-
way.
Seb, how would you? What do we got for next week? What
All
are we
right.
looking forward to?
So, I'm getting payback on Cam for making me listen to that terrible album.
I'm gonna
Um,
move.
Terrible album ever.
It wasn't that
Everyone
bad.
liked it.
Yeah, the album that everyone liked except for Seb. Seb's getting revenge for that.
So, I got shit for one of the metal bands I mentioned last time.
Oh boy.
Which is Nightwish. Nightwish. One of my favorite metal bands, one of the first metal bands I ever got into, ever listened to.
A metal band for babies, if you will. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
Baby
No,
The
that's
thing,
next week.
the shit I got
That's
for it.
my week.
Who posted that?
Matt Gentry.
Okay.
So we're gonna call him out by
Oh,
name.
wow.
Yeah, all right.
Call
So,
that on stream.
Friend of the show, Matt Gentry.
You can take my place on next week's episode.
Okay. So he posted a meme that was like, why are you doing this in this year or something like this? And I was like, okay. Like, I was considering having everybody listen to the first metal album I ever bought, which was Dark Passion Play by Nightwish. But it's not the year 2007 anymore. So
The current year. if you
yeah, it's
will.
the
It
current
is
year.
absolutely current year.
Yeah. So I'm gonna have everybody listen to an album by Arion, which is a project by Arjen
Did you say
Lucasen.
Aryan?
Arion.
No, I'm just kidding. That was-
Ayreon.
Yeah.
He's
Next week we're reviewing races.
Finally. Is it
Scandinavian. I want to say
That's actually dope.
Swedish. I don't know. He's tall with blonde hair.
I feel like
Uh,
European metal bands I've heard are like amazing. So that's actually.
That they're like the only game in town.
Okay.
So, but yeah, so it's an album called
Can you spell it out for us?
Arion?
Yes.
Ayreon.
Okay.
Right. It's an album called 01010001. Something like that.
And that translates to
it's-
massive racist
It's
comments.
no, it's binary for something. I'll link it because I can't even remember.
How long
what
is
all
this
of
shit?
It is about 2 hours. It is so every album that Arion does
Christ.
is a concept album. It tells one
The
whole
concept
narrative.
is how much it sucks.
Wow.
Hey, Cam, you never know. The whole point of the show is to introduce you to something. Maybe you could only hate it a little bit.
Oh, maybe I only heard the first hour of it.
Yeah. I mean, if you only listen to the first hour of it, okay. But I would like if you listen to the whole
I'll
album.
It's on. It's an hour and 42 minutes. It's on Spotify.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's 010110001.
I almost got it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. But yeah, so every album that this guy does is a concept album. And he brings on instrumentalists and vocalists from different bands all around the metal world. Prog metal, synth metal, death metal, whatever. I think this one has the vocalist from Blind Guardian on it. So this particular album is about a race of people who has extended their life to... what? What are you laughing at?
George gave me when you said a race of people. George looked up
It's
I
with
can't
about
wanna
black
run
people,
with
okay?
terror in his eyes.
I want to keep running this Aryan bit.
Can you
It's
show me? I think it's spelled
Arion.
right.
Arian.
A Rihanna
Yeah.
album.
Yeah.
I would love
It's
a
a Rihanna album. Her first metal album, actually. But yeah, so it's these people who have extended their lives to the point of what's it called when you never die?
Immortality.
Immortality. Thanks.
It's called No One Ever Does. No
Yeah,
one
what's
really
No
really
one
funny
ever
is
does.
there's a song on,
What? So they're
on
just
their
they're just no
Spotify
fat,
page.
right? They're literal gods.
There's
Yeah.
a song on their Spotify top 5 called "Everyone Dies." And it's just one
Oh,
of
that's from the newest
the
album.
other album
that one's
we did
great.
was "No One Ever Really Dies."
Yeah.
Yeah, Cam and Seb are starting to form a rivalry. Check
is-
back with us to see if they get into a fist fight.
Yeah.
We'll
But
review it.
anyway,
I'll-
it's a
Yeah.
really cool album. It's one of my favorites. So I hope everybody enjoys it. And
Yeah, that's our show. We're gonna really be strangers
God.
in a strange land next week because this is
And we
like-
promise next week it'll be shorter. This is way too long. We have to find a way to cut
Well,
this
Oh
out.
no!
I
Don't worry, I'm deleting all of you from
Finally.
this episode.
I guarantee less people will like this album than liked this game. So
We will become one with the machine.
Well, even when we complained, we still went long. Like
Yeah.
the dissent was mostly us complaining, and we
I
still
mean-
went long. So it doesn't matter.
yeah,
We're gonna have a good time, and we hope you had a good time listening to this. And if you didn't, that makes you just the majority of our listeners.
that's
So
okay.
You're not
All right.
special.
we'll
Nobody
see you next
likes
week.
us.
This has been. Please don't listen to this. Your life depends on it.